Greetings. Very special day today. About 5 years ago, not quite to the day, but give or take a little bit, my PvZ any percent world record was broken by the legend ymblcza, probably the greatest PvZ speedrunner of all time. And he's had a number of records and a handful of improvements over the next 2 years after that to the current record, which is about a 317 XX that has stood for over 3 years. And at the time, he was about 10 minutes ahead of second place. But earlier this week on January 9th, BulbasaurRepresent, again, a longtime runner that had made a splash in the puzzle scene and recently really taken to any percent, broke that record with a very very incredible run that we'll be seeing and breaking down today. Again, just really wanted to take this opportunity to celebrate together, talk about the new strategies, the new decisions that Bulb made in order to make this happen. Because again, it really is sort of a one of a kind sort of thing that again we really did not believe would be possible in the foreseeable future, sort of given YMB's sort of lead and command in the category. So very very happy for Bulba. This is incredibly well deserved. Doing this commentary run with Bulba's permission, very very supportive of kind of doing an analysis run like this. Again, you'll see this is just a YouTube video with his splits that you can sort of see on the right hand side here, along with me and then my chat in the upper right as well. So yeah, we'll be breaking down kind of what was going on. Maybe even hop into the PvZ speedrunning Discord at the end to be able to celebrate together. What's going on, JJ? Thank you. Thank you so much. Really, really good to see you. Hey, Bulba. Yeah, again, really, really looking forward to having this moment together, being able to break down this run and really celebrate again what I think is just a colossal improvement. Really a summoning salt level event for our community. Yes. Without any further ado, let's jump into it. And let me know if the volume, sort of my voice, sort of relative to everything else, sounds good. We'll be looking to do that. Hey, super! Yeah, really, really looking forward to being able to celebrate this together. This is really a great moment. Yep, yeah. Analysis day. Again, incredibly happy for Bulba. Again, I can't think of anyone more deserving. And again, it just really does sort of speak to in my opinion, sort of what makes PvZ so special. That although certainly you need sort of a level of analytics and talent and things like that. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to to commitment, to hard work. Yo, Placken, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Really glad to have you. It's analysis day here. Yeah. We'll be doing that, talking about some of the new strategies and what's going on. But yeah, just saying that what's really made me happy about PvZ as a game is like not only is sort of the skill cap infinite and there's sort of this mix of sort of luck and skill and strategy that goes along with the game, but that like at the end of the day like anything, dedicated practice and dedicated commitment, which we've really seen from Bulba in the any percent category in the last year, I think is sort of the number one reason that we have this too. Thank you so much for the sub. I really really appreciate that. That's very very kind. Super. I really 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 do appreciate that. But again, I think it just speaks to that. Overall, the A1 sort of during his reign, had the most time and commitment, put into the game. And then when I was the world record holder, I probably had the most time and commitment put into the game. And YMB, when he had the record, the most time and commitment into the game. And I think Bulba is sitting there right now too. So like, I'm not saying like it's a matter of deserving or that there aren't other runners that work super super hard, but just that like it wasn't like Bulba lucked into this. It wasn't just like he could take this and in 20, 30, 40 hours, just sort of master it and as, some sort of, physical or technical, capability that, that other players don't, but rather that it really is sort of a reflection of, his hard work and dedication, that put into this category. That's sort of, again, the culmination of, the strategies that we built as a community, and things like that as well. So it really brings me great joy that, that we got to this point, as well. But, yeah, now time to actually talk about the run. The first, again, kind of really clutch moment there as Bulba, you can hear in the video says that it was about frame one. And again, I think really the first sort of, call it strategy, but really I'd say really it's an execution improvement that we'll see throughout the run is Bulba's outstanding use of the mowers. It sort of went from something that like, as a casual player, right, you don't want to use the mowers, right? It seems silly or it seems kind of naive. What's going on, Christmas? Thanks for tuning in. But at the end of the day, right, like PvZ, especially from a speedrunning perspective, is a resource optimization game. And it might seem silly to think about it that way, but I think it's the truth that like your lawnmowers are a resource. And if you can use those resources effectively to help kill the zombies faster, right? Like, yeah, we think about the sun as a resource or plant cooldowns or instants or things like that. But the mowers are a resource and there is a real cost that you have to consider that goes along with using them, right? You need to basically let a lane, you need to keep a lane empty. You need to time it just right, as we saw right there in 1-2. Um, and we and being able to time it and execute it correctly, right? It's not something that you can just happen, right? You have to sort of do it as well. So you can see Bulba right now, right, is sort of judging the speed of this zombie and thinking ahead probably to wave 4 or wave 5 of, all right, how are we going to how are we potentially going to use this mower effectively. And again, I think that this is sort of number one. Well, not no spoilers, but we'll see that Bulba does get an excellent time coming out of the day levels. And I really think that it was his mower use, really probably the best mower use I've ever seen in any run ever, that sort of, really helped to facilitate that time. Like, sure, there's some other things that go right, but it really is sort of the skill involved with using the lawnmowers correctly that I think sort of help to culminate this very, very well. So, again, sort of a big difference, back from, my days as world record holder or anything like that. You'll see he has a moment of hesitation here about whether to use the cherry bomb or, and try to stall and maybe luck out on wave 5. But I actually agree with his decision here of holding out because the probability of the 5th wave conehead appearing in the bottom row was virtually zero. So it's like, okay, let's use the lawnmower to save a little bit of time on wave 4 and then basically stack up the pea shooters right here. So again, I think that's again, there's these like critical, maybe it's just 2 or 3 like critical decisions per level, and I'll try to call out as many of them as I possibly can. As he gets very, very unlucky right here with the conehead appearing in the bottom row, but again, that does happen sometimes, so that's great. Yeah, and again, no promotions here, please. This is just this is a casual sort of thing. Again, if one of the mods doesn't mind, taking care of that, that'd be really appreciated. So, yeah, and again, you'll see that even despite despite the bucket head, again, kind of due to good use of using the sun and things like that, maybe a couple wasted seconds here where the cherry bomb is technically off cooldown, but not even end up gonna end up being sort of a devastating time for this particular this particular level. Welcome, Slim, by the way. Really glad you can come join us today. So again, a little bit of bad luck, but again, I think Bulba, the key decision-making points were still strong. Just these early levels, right? Because we have so few, plants at our disposal, and they're so short. They actually are more RNG dependent, like from a relative perspective or a percentage perspective, as even some of the later levels. And yeah, again, to Jay's point, a 5:45 coming out of 1-3 is again an excellent time, even for a top runner. I've probably only done that less than 10 times ever, right? And that's coming from someone that like really likes to optimize, the first 4 or 5 levels of the run in my attempts too. Again, Bubble getting a little bit unlucky here. So again, and sort of speaking to the day levels, right? It's not like everything went right. It's not like we sort of managed to Bulba just happened to get every break with every zombie and every conehead appearing in the right place and things like that as well, right? But that again, it was kind of more slow, deliberate that sort of thing as well. And again, really being able to use lawnmowers this effectively, right? I think is sort of what separates a good runner from really the top tier runners that we see. So yeah, very, very interesting. 1-4 again. This is going to make Warmech's F tier list. And again, it kind of ties back to what I was saying with 1-3 earlier. It's just like it's not even that like it's that badly designed, but like with only 4 plants at our disposal, right? One of which being a walnut. There's just not room to make good decisions, right? We're really at the mercy of that as well. And again, you'll see here again, this is again kind of tying back to the new strategy ideas that you saw Bubble deliberately put that pea shooter in column 8. You might say, well, why is he doing that? It's just going to get eaten and so forth. But he basically was able to do that to guarantee enough damage to guarantee the 50% rule, kind of coming up on the next level, for the next wave, and still be able to use this bottom row mower for later in the level. Again, so again, I think this is really good. Again, a really sort of important part of the decision making. Again, good idea to use a cherry bomb now. Otherwise, again, it may not be available by the time we reach the final wave. And again, hopefully a good use of being able to get another 50% rule here. Before the next wave, you can see a little bit of stalling with the sunflowers there. Again, this will basically guarantee, hopefully, of getting value, which you can see, really did basically instantly sort of satisfies this particular row. And then again, what I think was sort of the brilliant decision of the run, even though it didn't work out,
Got
I
second
think it
last
was
once a game, I guess.
it was absolutely the right decision because there was actually a decently high chance
No,
that a
no
cone head
answer.
appeared in that top row, or even if it hadn't been the cone head, right? You're just sort of helping the probability of really getting good mower value there on the final wave. So I thought that was a great decision by Bulba, one that I certainly wouldn't have thought of, but again, unfortunately, ended up kind of getting a little bit steamrolled here, just with the cone head sort of showing up in the worst possible place for wave 9. So. Um, yeah, yeah. Again, yeah. Only time that we can use the column 8P shooter, but which again, because we get the shovel, right? Not really able to do it later. But you can see that by using the lawnmower on the bottom row for wave 8 and the top row for wave 9, right? Even though, yeah, those two waves were a little bit slower than we would expect, still gets to guarantee an excellent cherry use for the final wave. So all this is just sort of talking about, like, sometimes we can all run in, at least I find sometimes, like, I'll sort of run into the problem of sort of thinking about things one wave at a time, but like being able to, almost like chess, plan 2 or 3 waves ahead, can be super, super beneficial. Again, this is actually a pretty ugly start to 1-5, I would say. We don't like sort of using the even rows, for potential, lawnmower value later on in this one. I actually do like the use of the Explodonut there. Again, unfortunately, got a good bounce that ended up being a bad bounce for the 50% rule there. But you can see, kind of trying to rush a couple of a couple of the waves, seeing if you can get a little extra mower value on the second row there. And I think, yeah, this will end up being good. Again, only what, 1 or 2 regular zombies, so nothing too fancy. But again, with the final wave coming up. Again, I think this is a good example of sort of like making the most of, not getting a lot of explodos and sort of not getting the greatest sort of starting RNG, with the zombies that was right there. So. Yeah.
Nice. Exploder.
Yeah. So yeah, again, unfortunately, not going to get like that. Row 3 is another one too. You can't, unfortunately, get like a lot of value, coming out of that. But yeah, could have been a little bit better. But in fairness, again, with only 2 Explodonuts, getting a 145 or better, again, I still think is sort of within the sort of the good realm of possibilities. So that's great. Yeah, Christmas. Yeah, so this is Bulbasaur's run. If you exclamation point world record. I did watch this already. So again, this isn't like Warmech reacts or anything like that. I did ask Bulba in advance. He was very kind enough to sort of agree of doing an analysis record or analysis stream like this would be pretty good. Yeah, sub 150 with bad RNG. Like, honestly, like, I'll take it. That's really not that's really not too bad. So. That's good. Oh yeah, I think I did want to watch this at 1.5x speed too. Let me speed that up a little bit. Again, not to sort of rush the masterpiece, but I think we'll still be able to get to a good level of analysis. With sort of moving things ahead. Just a little bit quicker. Try to keep the video length a little bit more reasonable and things like that as well. So hopefully that's okay. Again, let me know if you sort of like the
There's no
audio balance with
way to go.
my voice versus kind of the video for Bulba, things like that as well. I was pretty worried about this bottom row. It was very, very close, but again, you can see, again, another sort of more technical thing I want to call out just a little bit is, Bulba's placement is very, very strong as well too, being able to quickly get plants where they need to be without a lot of delay time, right? And again, I think that sort of does kind of go into the sort of the skills of the run. Oh, you can't hear the video at all. Interesting. Let me see if I can tweak. Oh, interesting. Um, yeah, let me know if I made it much louder now. Let me know if this is a little bit too much. Hey, Paha, what's going on? Welcome to the analysis video. Yeah, I
Nice. I
had to
didn't
make
catch
some
that.
adjustments because like my game volume. Okay, good. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, again, if it gets a little too loud or too quiet, just let me know. We can we can fix it. Yeah, certainly. I want at least at least a little bit of the classic audio and things like that around too. So that's good. Again, I think
I feel really
the
good about that.
lawnmowers, again, great lawnmower use again, sort of in addition to being able to sort of predict with the potato mine effectively there as well. And again, sort of as sort of is the theme for these levels too, being able to create a good cherry
That was
spot,
a
right?
bit
Again,
annoying,
that's
Carol.
sort of again a nice a really nice
I
theme here
did
too.
not
And
see the
I
cone.
think Bulba was actually within a couple seconds of my gold split for this level. So again, kind of speaking that 1-1-6 can really kind of play us dirty sometimes, but again, it's again pretty nice to do that as well. I meant to mention that too when we were sort of fixing the audio, but I thought I really liked the column 6 mine. I meant to actually had a note that I was gonna comment on that specifically, right? That's sort of thinking at the next level. You're sort of seeing there. You're like, all right, I gotta kill. I gotta kill this vaulter, right? Like, not going to do a lot of damage with just the pea shooter, so I really liked the potato mine use there very much as well. Yo, Easy Pig, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in today. Really appreciate that. Also, welcome JPEP. Yeah, glad to have you. Glad to have you on board here. So that's it. Yeah, I really can't believe that we're in the post era too. Like, I can't describe sort of the feeling. Like, even when I had my world record, I think YMB's first any percent run was like a 339, and like I saw him
Whoa.
get that
You just
run,
did
and I
something.
knew I was done. And I knew like it was gonna be like not a couple of seconds that he beat it by, but like minutes and minutes. I wasn't even expecting it to even to. I didn't even think sub 20, sub 320 was possible. Sort of when we were in that kind of like low 130 range, but YMB really kind of blew it out of the water. And so the fact that someone was able to kind of come in and strategy improvements and execution improvements that we see in Bulba in this run again, I think is really special. So that's great. Yeah. Again, it was about 5 years ago. I actually have a little special thing sort of planned at the end of the stream too, to kind of provide a little extra piece, a little extra piece to this too, just kind of talking through the history and things like that. So that's so it's pretty cool. Again, very early. I would not have been as ballsy with that lawnmower because again, the hitboxes on those vaulters can be really nasty, and you get a little bit of RNG with like their movement speed and things like that as well. So very scary, but it works out, and that's just what we get. Again, I'd say another strategy improvement, slash call it execution improvement, right, is being able to use lawnmowers, which we never would have thought of earlier, but using lawnmowers in the second half of these two flag levels, right? That like you normally think, oh man, giving up like a fifth of your sun production, right? There's no way that can be worth it. But again, if you're sort of thinking about it like as well, yeah, you're giving that up, but you can help the 19th wave, you can help the final wave by such a significant margin. Like, would you be willing to give up, maybe 300 sun, over the course of the second half of the level where you don't really have anything better to spend that sun on? Like, I think the answer is kind of an overwhelming, like, yeah, it really is. Yeah. I would say that was not the greatest use of a cherry. There are some, like, the second half of 1-7 can have a lot of bad waves. So for me, I tend to really use cherries as sort of like, all right, maybe it's wave like 13 to 16 or something like that, and you get
I'm an
like
idiot.
two
Oh,
cone heads
wow.
and a pole
Maybe I
vaulter
should.
like in the wrong place. It's really
Oh, it's a
sort of
jumbo.
a like, all right, I have no other way to deal with this wave fast. It's going to cost 15 seconds. Yeah, so I'd say that was probably one slight misplay, on this level as well. Again, a little bit of bad luck, I would say, too, between getting the cone head and the vaulter and two regular zombies and another cone head in the top row, right? Like, again, I think it was a good strategy idea, but not sort of like just
Could be
happened to get a
bouncing
little
bombs
bit more
neither.
dumpstered by as well. Another sort of interesting thing I want to call out that really hasn't been talked about, I think, in previous runs is Bulba's use of when he plants the cherry mine, the potato mine
Not so bad.
in the final wave. He'll sort of wait for the text to appear and then
I'm
plant
gonna blame that on my
the
mine,
potato
personally.
mine with the idea that hopefully what that means is that like you can sort of potentially stack up the zombies a little bit better and get just that little extra value out of the potato mine as well. Again, I'd say that's sort of a very nice strategy improvement that goes along with the levels. As well. So yeah, cherry bomb maybe should have been used for an important zombie that has appeared in the top row. I tend to agree, right? It's you're sort of already like basically negating one of the rows anyway, right? Not having any firepower there, so like you're really sort of like concentrating, like you're very vulnerable to like a very bad or dangerous zombie or set of zombies that sort of does involve the top row because you haven't procced the lawnmower yet. So I think that's really good. Yo, Wolf Gaming. I think it's fantasy. Fantasy number one that we have a new PvZ world record on our hands, but also fantasy that Ormec finally gets around to streaming for the first time in almost 5 months, and the first time streaming PvZ one in God, I don't even want to I don't even want to think, right? It's been a fresh minute. But good news is again I'm hoping that like my life has kind of kind of settled down and things like that. The puppy's now a little bit older, so we don't have quite as many puppy responsibilities as we did in the past. Grad school's done. So again, that's sort of a good thing too. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to really be able to get back into content creation for 2024. I do, again, a little bit of self-promotion. Again, another excellent use of the lawnmower here, I would say. I do have a very, very special project I've been working on for the last about 2.5 years, or not 1.5 years. That, again, I'm hoping to have released maybe this month or next month, a very special video I've been working on for a long time. That'll be offline sort of thing, but again, I think will be what I'm hoping is my magnum opus for content creation. I'm very, very, very proud of how it's coming out so far. And yeah, maybe even we'll get a little on-stream preview or something like that as well. So that's very it. So yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's again, that's a little suspicious, especially for our friend Warbeck. Warbeck does not get 21-26s coming out of 1-8. So yeah, something's a little sus about going along with that. Yeah, welcome, Markin. By the way, that's again, yeah, very, 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 very glad to have everybody joining us today. This is again been a very exciting week for the community. One that I wouldn't say was a surprise, given Bulba's significant improvement over the last year plus. But certainly having it sort of all culminate in a run like this again, I think is absolutely fantastic. Again, not a lot to say about 1-8, other than again just using again doing a good job of like just making those decisions of like when do I let a zombie go, when do I plant a pea shooter and then let the zombie go, versus when do I use a chomper, and then how do I effectively manage the last wave too. What I thought was the best decision in 1-8, just again kind of cycling back there, was Bulba's use of the walnut for that zombie that was coming in wave 2, right? That could have been sort of an expensive problem to deal with, but by using the walnut when he did, knowing that basically the cherry bomb was guaranteed to hit that zombie on the final wave. Again, I thought that was sort of the brilliant decision that sort of separated what could have been a very mediocre 1-8 into a great one. So that's that's great. So yeah. Yeah. No, again, there's always, I don't think we'll ever have a run where, the runner sort of feels like, all 5 of the worlds went really, really well. But, again, I think like, getting a great day, right, it really can sort of like set the tone and set the pace for the rest of the run. So that's, so that's it. So yeah, very, very exciting stuff there as well. Yeah, couldn't quite get lucky, I think, unfortunately, with that lawnmower. But again, I think again, kind of a great use of a little bit of RNG, but just kind of a great use of kind of a balance between planting sunflowers, getting some firepower out, still using the instance appropriately, and so forth. Again, I think this was a very well played first half of 1-9. So that's it. So. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Bulba 110%, deserved it. Again, it wasn't, something he just lucked into, like I was sort of saying at the very beginning, or anything like that. It was the result of, many months of, incredibly hard work and, integrating strategies and doing all that. Again, you'll start to see here too, for those of you having a little bit of anxiety about sort of letting that row go, right? Again, just another example of another level where potentially you can really make good use of second half lawnmowers as well. Again, the price to pay is a little bit
So yeah,
higher,
I
right?
do
You
have
now
an
have
idea.
four
I might use
sunflowers that you're losing
the
out
sulfur
on, and
farming.
we have the chomper to need to deal with too. But you can sort of see that based on the timing of this, right? You really
Oh
only
my
have to
god,
dig
this is
up the
such a
sunflowers for what
lucky
amounts to
wave.
maybe just a couple of waves, and you can see just the insane value. Basically killed a vaulter, a cone, and two cone heads, including one on wave 19, for the low cost of absolutely nothing, right? A lawnmower that like we're not even getting money from or anything like that. You see a little bit of bad luck. Unfortunately, couldn't get that extra value from the potato mine at the end there. But again, maybe only
Awesome.
a second or two lost because of that. So that's it. Yo, Astrobleed, what's going on? Well, I think part of that is I haven't streamed since last year. I did do a PvZ2 stream back in August, and then I think a PvZ1 stream. The last one before that was, God, it must have been like February or March or April or something like that. So yeah. Again, yeah. So 1-9 again, I thought was absolutely sensational, and again, just kind of an excellent illustration of utilizing these new strategies, good lawnmower placement, good balance of firepower versus instance, and planning ahead and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, again, I agree with Blackened here that that 1-9 I thought was one of the best played levels in the entire run. No question in my mind. So that's good. Um, a little bit, a little slow in my opinion. Like, see, the moment I think Bulba saw that Conehead, I think, maybe we should have let that one go. Very small critique, but again, just again, in terms of kind of getting the most value possible out of that as well. But again, what I like about this is, again, you can see there in the second row, again, using the vaulters, right? Now there's really no cost to using that lawnmower at all, right? There's nothing behind it. You're not losing any plants. So that's it as
I
well.
didn't need
So
to, I could.
again, another
Yeah.
good use I would say of kind of the cherry bombs in the first half, sort of coupled with protecting the rows that really needed good effective protecting and stuff. So that's good. Again, I like the cherry use here. Anytime you sort of have like on the huge wave, there's only, you have one of the rows that's blocked off due to the mower. Again, I really think it's a good time to make use of the cherries and things like that as well. Bottom row getting a little bit nasty, I would say. Just like it's going to be hard to get a lot of value out of any of those pea shooters, but again, I think Bulba, again, kind of making, once again, making pretty good use of this as well. That's good. And again, one risk you can run that I found myself in at 110 is, making sure that like, when you let a row go in the first flag, right, that you don't set it up for failure in the second half because you have no firepower and sort of no ability to be able to deal with that effectively. I actually think not that it's unexpected, but I do think that the vaulters sort of bailed him out a little bit as well. That like he could have been in a very difficult situation of like the zombies being too
Whoa,
slow
this
to
is
let
so
them
good.
go prior to the 19th wave. But again, I think the vaulters appearing exactly when they did was sort of just that break. That this level needed to sort of turn from like potentially a disaster to again a sub 330 time that again I would be dying for. Again, I think this is faster than my gold on 110. So again, just kind of tying
You
it
got free
back, right?
exit
I think in Bulba,
with a
three of these levels got
mediocre
basically equal or better
multi-exit.
times than my golds. Again, you're just sort of showing sort of like what the skill
Like
ceiling
it was
is
really
for
nothing
these,
special.
for these levels as well. So. Um,
Why did I
yeah,
put that
it would have been
nonsense?
global 2 years ago. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, Simtechco. Welcome, by the way. Really glad to to have you. Yeah, and that's the other thing
And
too is
punish.
that although
Just like
certainly
punish
for
completely.
Bulba's sake, I hope that the record lasts a long time.
Why? I'm
We do
I
have a
cannot.
lot of
No, there's a grave there. There's a grave there. There's a
a
grave
lot of
there.
great runners that are sort of right
You just
there
can't
in
see it.
contention. Really about four runners that I think sort of
I
at
can't
a
be
I don't want to say a moment's notice,
wow.
but I think that again with kind of a little bit
Actually,
of
yes, I can
time,
be
a little
alright.
bit of
This is gonna
a
be
little
very
bit of a
great
break,
today.
could end up bopping this down. So again, could we see the 316 or even the 315 by the end of the year? I think it's not completely out of the question. Again, this run is excellent, but it doesn't mean that again, there's sort of not a little more competition sort of right on the tail. So that's good. Yeah, Bubble saying, look away at the night levels. Again, night levels suck, man. I just, ugh, God, again, it feels like the night levels feel like you have enough tools at your disposal that like they should be good and they should be consistent, right? Especially with the puff shroom. But like the reality is just like it just like it can just really suck sometimes. Again, especially with this 2-1 being, really being no exception. As well. So that's what we get. Yeah, provided people keep playing. Yeah, you never know, right? YMB maybe could have pushed to 215 by now, but again, life and school and all that stuff, gets busier and busier, and that's just how it goes. So that's great. Yeah. Overall, again, I think 2-1 is kind of one of those interesting levels of like, feeling like you're just on the cusp of sort of having enough resources to be able to deal with it effectively, but not quite good enough that that we're really there. Again, I like the use of the cherry bomb in the fourth row there. I think that was really the danger zone, despite the firepower, to try to plan for it in advance. So that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I will say that, yeah, Knight can maybe be the least forgiving of all the levels. That, yeah, you're right, that one mistake or one bad wave can just absolutely crush the levels, and in part because they're not that long. That again, a 15-second mistake can really just just devastate. Just devastate that as well. Yeah, again, a little bit of misclicks. I was praising Bulba earlier for kind of being very tight with his his puff and kind of plant placement execution. We've all been there. Again, the one that feels the worst is the puff shroom in Call of 6, right? Because you're watching the zombie just slowly trudge along, and you're like, I can't do anything. Like, I just have to sit here and wallow in my mistake for for 5 or 6 or 7 seconds. So, that's it. Yeah. And again, you're having a really good day. Again, a 29-22 is just unreal. There were times where we thought sub 30 wouldn't be possible for day, much less someone flirting with a very low 29. That's crazy. Ultimate. Yeah. This runner's time is going to be slightly better than the average, and certainly better than yours truly right here would be able to play. So thanks for tuning in. You can exclamation point WR to get a little bit more info about sort of the analysis that we're doing on on Bulba's run right here. Oh yeah, sorry, and I am playing at 1.5x speed as well. So yeah, if it looks like that Bulba's playing even faster and better than usual, or that the zombies are really kind of hauling ass. That's it as well. Yes, we are at 1.25 speed again, just to kind of keep the flow of things going a little bit faster as well, and not make it quite as kind of long or tricky as well. And I do have sort of something special planned for the end of the stream as well that I wanted to take another 5 minutes for as well. Yeah, nothing much to say about sort of this first flag in 2-2. Again, it can be really dependent on conehead placements and newspapers and again things like that as well. But we were talking about kind of punishing mistakes. I would say that Bubba lost a couple of seconds there just from the slight misclicks with the puff shrooms as well. Again, I like sort of the aggressive and decisive use of the cherry bomb there, right? Like I sometimes can sort of hoard the cherry bomb a little bit on the second flag as well, but because the grave placement here is very good, and that any bucket heads are never going to be more than one grave away, from a chomper being able to eat them, I think that's good. Anytime that I have 2 graves in the same row, I'll almost always save the cherry bomb for that row, again, just in case, because basically the chomper is going to be sort of all but worthless there. So wanting to sort of save that again, sort of like we were talking about in 1-7, sort of for like that danger row that could be could be a bit of a problem. So that's very good. Again, overall, again, I'd say, kind of a very strong second half. Again, a good use of, again, Bulba taking on, again, I'm going to call this the war mix strategy of having 21 or 22 sunflowers. I know people have been doing that for years now, but, 21 or 22 sunflowers, because, it really does just put you, that much over the top where you're using the repeater. You have the chomper that you're going to need for bucket heads and things like that. Again, unfortunately, couldn't quite stall that zombie just right. So yeah, again, a very, very slight, again, just pixels away, I would say, from that being a truly excellent level. That's great. So,
okay.
Oh, whoops, yeah, meant to say, I actually might have the ability to change, change the command here. Let me see. Yeah, we don't want to.
Wait.
This run did not happen a year and 4 days ago. It was more recent. So that's it. Yeah, let me see if I can I can get fix that Nightbot command right here. So that should be good. Nightbot. All right. Man, actually, I do have a bunch of commands. Again, anyone looking to use some extra emotes, we have exclamation point BTTV, exclamation point FFZ if you want, sort of some more, special emotes, things like that as well. Yeah, again, I'm still not, I don't know if any of you find this, but like whenever there's a new year, it takes me like till mid-February to like actually start writing the new year when I'm so used to like writing, because again, I like write and document a lot of stuff for work and things like that, so I'm used to writing out, 2023, 2023, 2023. Oh, can't see the game video. Oh, I apologize about that. Hopefully it's better now. I just double checked. Yeah, I think it might have had the window capture thing might have made it a little bit angry, but yes. Very good, very good. All right, we're all fixed now. So life is happy. Yep. Again, a little bit of bad luck for Bulba in this one too. Not getting the potato mine placement, but that's how it goes. Yep. Yo, Desiree. Yeah, new world record. Fresh off the press. Back on. So maybe Monday, Tuesday. Whatever it was. Yep. We got new world record for the first time in 3 years, and the first new world record holder for the first time in like 5 years, I want to say. So, so again, it's really a tremendous moment for the community. That's very exciting as well. Yeah. Again, 2-3. Again, another one too. Where like, if you get a little bit of bad luck, yeah. Again, I want to point out here, getting 3 cone heads right in basically the 3 worst placed rows that we could imagine. Right. Again, I think just really held this level back. Like if it had just been in the bottom 3 graves or, just a little bit better placement, I think it would have been better. But yeah, again, just a great example of just like how the night levels can really, really troll you. Again, I wouldn't even say like significant misplays there. It just really sucked. So that was it. Yeah, December 2018. Oh yeah, I thought it might have been 2019, but I think you're right. Yeah, wow. So yeah, almost 5 years, not quite to the day, but yeah, incredible. So that's yep, absolutely unbelievable. So that's that's what we got. So, yeah. Again, I sort of like, the way that the game's evolved, the strategy's evolved. Again, I know I've said this before, but it really is one of my favorite things about PvZ is that, like, just since I've started, I started running the game at the end of 2017, there has been a strategy improvement, right? Not just executing existing strategies better, but there's been a legit strategy improvement, i.e. we take different plants or we significantly use the way that we use the plants differently on every single level other than 1-1. We've literally seen 49 out of the 50 levels in any percent have a strategy improvement, that can and so that's really what I love about the game, and that even now we're still sort of having debates about like not only are there better strategies for certain levels, especially on the roof levels, but it's potentially the case that there could be, based on the preview, which we'll talk about a little bit here. That's sort of the other sort of strategy improvement I really wanted to sort of talk through again, especially as we get to the roof levels and some things like that as well. That we might be to the point where we change the plants that we take on each level based on the preview that we get, which to me is just like the freaking coolest thing that I've ever seen. I don't think we have hashtag diamond as a command anymore, but we'll see how Bulba's money luck is throughout the rest of the run, which is really good. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, remind me, Bulba in 4-7. We'll talk about the preview based strategy changes, because again, I think that's I think that's sort of one of the coolest, the coolest again strategy developments that we've had as well. Again, as we have the Warmech 22 sunflowers here as well. So that's it's very good. So yeah, basically what we're doing is we've sort of really begun to calculate based on the preview that you get at the beginning of the level, where they sort of very quickly flash and show you what zombies are coming. That can sort of give us an estimation not only of how many kind of how many cone heads to expect for the level, but that in some levels we can actually dynamically change the plants that we take sort of based on the information that we gather during the preview. So for me, that is like so freaking cool, right? It really just sort of brings sort of the strategy to that next level as well, which I just like. I just love. So that's that's great. Yep. Yeah, Paha. Yeah, you want to yeah, if you want to feel really bad,
This guy's
the
winning now.
last time that a new world record holder was in place, my time was in second place, and now I'm not even in the top 15 anymore. Again, blame it on life or grad school, or again, just not quite having sort of the same, just honestly, just time and just commitment and things like that that are needed as well. But yeah, it's crazy to sort of see like what used to be an elite, number two time, now again, he's even in the top 10. And what used to be world record times now wouldn't even get you in the top 20 again. Unfortunately, Bulba gets a little bit trolled here again. Just again the hit detection, the hit
5 diamonds.
of those vaulters is just brutal. Just
And
the
maybe an idiot.
worst.
I am an idiot with a
Um,
diamond, so.
yeah, easy pick. Yeah, 227 being in ninth place at a point. Now, what is it? Probably 18th or yeah,
This
I
guy
don't even
is
know. It's
losing
not
really
there.
bad.
Yo, Teddy, what's going on? Thanks for joining us for this world record analysis
Yeah,
stream. Again, Boba, worked really hard and
yeah.
again achieved something really cool. So that's yeah, that's great.
But
Yo, Mock
best day
Zero,
exit ever
really
with
glad to
diamonds.
see you
Yeah.
again. How you doing? Yeah, somewhere in your 20th. Yeah, just man. Yep, horrendous. Yeah, 346 beat 15th when you submitted it. I think Bulba at one point, I think was what were you up to, Bulba? Fifth on the any percent leaderboards with like
Sun would be
a
nice actually. Like
334 or
crazy suggestion, but
333
Sun.
or something like that. Yeah, I get
Okay,
it
yeah. Sun
now.
is a
That
thing
would
you can
even be
get for
like
sure.
top 25.
Good
Peak was
chat.
fourth. Okay, yep. Yeah, again, obviously until your sort of most recent. Um, yeah. Unbelievable. So that's it. I may be an idiot, but an idiot with a diamond. Yeah, that's got to go down on our legendary
Whoa.
quotes as well. Again, we see another diamond drop
Now I'm really mad at
here
myself
as
for
well.
letting this night not be great, because this could be the most insane win ever.
Yep. Yeah, no, and again, like the other thing too, based on your current money pace, right? You can sometimes afford to take more risks when it comes
And it
to,
already is pretty insane.
mower usage or buying the pool cleaners or things like that as well. So I also sort of like how like, although this was a very good money pace, but that how like that can sort of not only alter the strategy of like, oh, do I buy the pool cleaners or not, but alter the level of risk that you're willing to take and potentially the upside reward of that as well. So yep, crazy, yep, absolutely unbelievable.
It's
So
very, you know, strict. Not strict. There's stingy. No, there's on the sun. But I mean, good
yeah.
value gave me a diamond.
Yeah, again, I'll take the diamond over the sun time. Again, we sometimes like will complain about not having enough for a cherry, but as you can see, it only costs about 2 seconds at the end of the day with a little bit of fast clicking at the end. Not ideal, but I think maybe we're a little bit we complain a little bit too much about bad sun RNG on that
Probably.
level. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I definitely back in the day, and even to my runs now, it's hard to break that old habit of being worried about using the money,
Great
right?
one
Because
piece
like
finishing
I've
second.
had those cases where I've only been 50 gold or less away from being able to afford the gloom by 5-4, and but again, I think now between like sort of having better backup strategies for 5-4, and again just sort of being a little bit more sort of tolerant of that as well. Again, yeah, it really is. We were talking about that earlier, Easy Pig, about how like we never thought of the lawnmowers as a resource, but like at the end of the day, PvZ is a resource optimization game, right? And like you have 5 extremely valuable resources sort of sitting there on the back of your lawn. Like,
Okay, then boom, boom,
we
all
honestly were
next way.
foolish for
Like
as long as we did
normal.
for not using them as
But then
frequently
Zombo
or
go.
effectively,
Then pick all this way,
as we do
and we're all
now.
good.
Because like, there are times where basically it equates to like
Yep, exactly what I'm
a
saying.
cherry's worth of value, right? You can take what would be an awful wave, even if it just has a cone head, and
you're hearing
not
sound
only get
here.
value in that wave, but especially when you only have the
Very
cherry
slight
bomb,
bit of
getting
pain.
value in future waves as well. So again, yeah, really just wanting to call out, that as well. Again, as we get a third
Okay.
diamond, again, no accusations of cheating here, but boy, guys, that's a little bit suspicious, isn't it?
Okay.
3 diamonds, huh? On a very good pace run. I'm gonna have the verifiers take a second look at this one and see. Yeah, very
Bad, man.
suspicious. Yeah, and we are at 1.25 speed. Maybe I should
This is
update.
weird.
Maybe I should update the description to specify that as well. Yeah, no, we're not going at a hyperspeed pace here, but I did think that the 1.25 would be
Bad
just a
level.
slightly
Another
more
diamond.
effective way of
This is just a rich one.
managing this as well. So hopefully that's okay with everybody. So yeah, that was Bulba's third diamond. And again, just excellent use of the walnut, sort of at the very end here as well.
What?
And again, another another diamond as well. In addition to, again, excellent cherry usage at the end. So even though, again, I think
I
Bulba
don't even
got
know
a
what to
little bit
take.
got a little bit hammered by some of the RNG, really the Conehead RNG, I would
guess.
say, on that one. Again, I thought it was a great job of
I mean, I don't think so.
keeping it
I
together.
didn't know what to take. Sunflower? Probably sunflower, right?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even know what to take on what
I
8,
mean, I guess.
on what 7 either. I think Sunflower would have been the right play, just given that, like, I sometimes do find that we
I
have
guess.
problems on
I don't know.
2-7 because,
This is definitely
it's a
not the
2
correct
flag,
thing.
it's
I
a
think
2
probably
flag level, but
Sunflower
you
was-
really do need, like, the Hypno and the Fume and the Gravebuster and the Scaredy, right? So again, I wouldn't even know what to take either. Yeah, but I don't know if I've ever seen 8 seeds on 2-7. Maybe once. Maybe once someone else had a run like
I think it was probably Sunflower in
that I
hindsight,
caught, but
but-
yeah, just
I
absolutely
don't think I'll
freaking
get to
ridiculous.
Jumper too much. Maybe,
And it's kind of nice too, because again, you can
mean,
get
I
it
can probably
quickly,
Hypno,
and
like-
it does help on 3-1. It helps on 3-2,
Wave
3-3,
18. I can be winning
any of
Hypno, I
that
can just jump on it.
as well.
No, Wave
Yeah,
19 would
mine
be
being the
better.
right play. Interesting. I'd almost like
No, I
to
take Moon on
test
2-8.
it. See if we could run some tests. Not that it happens that often, but both for 2-8 and 2-9, right? Like, intuitively, I really feel like it should be the Sunflower because, like, in using Sunflower Chomper in the second half of the level. But again, like, because each of the night levels is a little bit different,
I really wish
you might be
I was
right.
playing
Like
Snipe better because
getting that value in
best
the
day I
first
ever
flag,
played Diamonds, like, what is this?
and the final wave too. I think, again, that could potentially be it. So interesting. Yeah. Again, I would have said Sunflower too, but it's hard to it's hard to say. So again, it's very interesting. I actually like the use of the Gravebuster coupled with the Hypno, right? Because Bulba knew he was going to be waiting on Sun for the Cherry, so wasn't going to have good value from that Cherry immediately anyway. Now, not only, again, can you save the Cherry for the Huge Wave, but you might actually get Hypno value in the Huge Wave as well, which you can see, he does pretty early on too. And then, again, I love these, like, 11th wave cherry bombs, right? That like really just sort of capitalize on that value. So again, I actually think the brilliant play in this level was the use of that Grave Buster for that column 8 Grave, and then the Hypno immediately to follow it up, right? Didn't even really lose that much time on the 9th wave, and like really set himself up for success. In the Huge Wave, the 11th wave, and sort of the second half of the level. So really, just I made a note because I really wanted to call that out. By the way, Pit Cat, what's going on, my friend? It has been a day and a half, hasn't it? Really hope you're doing well, Pit Cat.
Nice.
Hope life's treating you okay these days. So that's great. Yeah. So again, really, second half, again, obviously, having the extra seed slot, right, certainly helps here. But again, it's pretty cool to sort of see, sort of see 2-7 start to come to life a little bit as well, and being able to capitalize on that
against the screen door
as well. So that's cool. Yeah, one level away from seeing 8 seed slots in all the levels. Yeah, basically the earliest the earliest you could get it right would be 2-6. So very, very, very interesting. Again, those of you panicking about the final wave, again, I think, very good timing there, and again, good use of the chompers as well. Unfortunately, that zombie was just too slow. Not really a lot that could be done about that. You could maybe argue, I think having the Sunflower there, Bulba, would also potentially allow you to bust more graves, right? And sort of potentially prevent disasters on the final wave as well. So I actually think it can be very, very hard to get enough sun, not only for the instance that you need in 2-7, but to bust enough graves to make the final wave sort of stay under control like that. So that might be another argument for just having an extra Sunflower as well. So that's good. Yo, Bob asked, hey, we're actually doing a world record analysis of Bulba's run. This is pre-recorded. I did watch this run earlier in the week. already. So again, this isn't like a a reacts or my first time seeing it. I did have some notes, although of course, like usual, I'm just going to kind of improvise most of it as well. But yeah, really good to see you, Bob Ass. Hope you're doing well. Hope your winter is off to an okay
That's
start, and
unfortunate.
life's treating you okay. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you only want to use three columns of sun producers, but you might be able to squeak in like again if you have a row that's sort of naked, right? Doesn't have any graves, right? You could
Okay, that's
add
good. I
even
wish
a
I waited for.
21st or 22nd sunflower. Again, I think could be super valuable, even if you have to like later, dig it up to make space for your 10th or your 11th scaredy shroom. I think that could be valuable. Yeah, 17 sun producers or something like that. Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. 16 or 17, right, might be just enough to sort of, give you that extra edge, that you want. Yeah, or sunflower. Yeah, instead of hypno. Yeah, the hypno's cheap though. I do like it. Yeah, again, this is why we test things, right? Again, not that like this particular situation is going to come up that often, but yeah. Again, I actually like the use of the hypno here because again, should maybe be able to get it back for the final wave and potentially get a lot of value out of the walnut for that as well. Again, I really like that too. Just stalling them a little bit of extra time, guaranteeing that Conehead came on screen. So I actually think that this was excellent play. Again, unfortunately, got hit with that extra backup dancer. Again, very
This
disappointing.
is
Again, I
so
don't think that this
weird.
was a major like misplay or anything like that. But
Why would you? I don't know. I'm so
just
bad.
again, I thought it was good execution that
I
just
just completely
got
choked this.
trolled by fractions of a second by the
Yeah,
dancer
why is that
on
happening?
the final wave. So again, some of these night levels, I know Bulb was kind of saying like like
This is like
it's
the
rough and
weirdest money
whatnot, but
ever
again,
because
some of
it's
them
so
were
good.
very very close to being
I don't
excellent, and
know.
just one
I'm not used to
slight
this.
decision or one sort of modification away from it being very very good. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, back in the old day, one maybe two rows of sunflowers, right? But yeah, again, I'd love to see sort of my first ever attempts and what I tried to do too. The game's like, oh, try to place at least one column of them, and you're like, nah, we actually need like four, sometimes five. And ultimately it's worth it because you just like you know again we talk about like a resource management game, right? That like it really is the fact that plants like the chomper
These grades are just so
exist,
awesome on a
right? That like
preview.
make us need so much sun that like it's realistic that we could easily need 150 sun for every single wave, with each wave only lasting about 6 7 maybe 8 seconds
Actually, not a
total,
cone throw
right?
to work.
So yeah, again, it's sort of like again, going back to our RTS analogy, right? The biggest mistake that newer players don't make, right, is like not building enough villagers early, or forgetting again whatever their resource gathering thing is, right? Sort of underestimating the value of having again
This
villagers, sort of
night
that
is
resource
gonna be like
gathering resource
a
collection
30-second
capability. And
2x or
again, so
something.
it's
It's
really
gonna
not
be
surprising in a
really
lot of
bad.
ways that
It's
PvZ
gonna
is
be like a
sort of in
minute 20 worth
that
of my ult this
same
night.
category. So yeah, I think you're right, Christmas. That's exactly what it is. So that's great. Um, again, another sort of thing too. Again, I like the digging up and getting the third scaredy shroom there to really help speed along the ninth wave there. I think that was really good. Yo, Mikhail, what's going on? How you doing?
Damage
Been a
defense
long
is good.
time. Hope you're again, yeah, happy New Year, happy January to you, and yeah, hope life's
Whoa.
treating you good. Exactly. Oh, well, I do play Age of Empires is sort of my main. That was sort of the first computer game that I ever got really into. Age of Empires 2, and then later Age of Empires 3. So that's sort of the base or the analogy that I'm going with too. But yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. Right? It's like sunflowers. They are our
Is that a
villagers,
screen
right?
door? That's a screen
And
door.
they're the ones that sort of give us
And it's
the
just someone
resources that
else.
we need to build
Normal
an
combat
army
thing.
faster and better to help overwhelm our opponents, right? And it really is sort of the same thing in PvZ, right? That
I guess I'm just not gonna be able to carry into
it's
Wave
they
9.
call it a
I guess
tower
that's
defense
unfaithful.
game, but really again it is that sort of RTS like kind of resource management sort of thing as well. So yeah, just sort of my thoughts on the thing. So that's good. Yeah, not a lot to say about this 2.9 other than again I think doing a good job of sort of prioritizing the scaredy shrooms along with busting graves and getting the fumes out as needed, managing the hypno correctly. Again, I think all of that was very very well done. And then yeah, having the cherry for the for the 19th wave again is really sort of icing on the cake, I would say. To sort of make this level better. I also like the busting in that grave just to make sure that it doesn't escape, the doom range or anything like that. But yeah, that's very good. Again, I think my gold is like a 427 or 428. So even though again this level didn't go perfectly for Bulba, and yeah, had the extra seed slot. Again, a 430 is an excellent time. That's sort of not to be, kind of, scoffed at or anything.
But I have money.
I have money. Understatement of the day, Bulba. Understatement of the day. That is the case. Yep. Oh yeah, we got the what is it? The A1 5 stack and Super 6 stack. Yeah, the A1 5 stack on 410. That is a classic. Hey, it could have happened on 2.9. Yeah, sorry, I said 4. I did 2.10. Yep, that's it. Yep.
Oh, it just was on there.
Yep. Poor A1. I actually haven't gotten to tune into too many of A1 streams recently. I've been just nighttime just kind of seems to be getting busier rather than easier and all that stuff. And yeah, that tends to be when he's most available. Most of the time in my time zone. So that's yeah, A1. If you're watching, I hope you're doing well, my friend. It's been it has been a hot minute. Yeah, letting the first few wave goes when you get no good plans. Yeah, I actually kind of agree with that too. That like it's like, well, all right, we're gonna turn this. It's already gonna be a 20 or 25 second wave. Why not just let the zombies go and kind of make it better. I actually really like the use of that Doom there, right? There are a lot of problems, including potentially losing the Fume Shroom. So I like those strategic uses of the Doom Shroom as well. Again, I thought that was a very good decision. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes you just cut your losses and you say, you know what, like, this will help me a little bit later. I can maybe get a little bit of firepower stacked up, and not going to save time anyway. Yeah. Usually one wave. Any more than one wave, yeah, you're probably that's probably going to turn into a problem. But yeah, I didn't love the use of the Hypno there. Like, I get why Bulba did it, but that was sort of the one decision in this level I think I disagreed with. That, like, again, you're going to get footballs. Maybe you want to use some of the dooms, but I didn't like the Hypno. Not just that, but like at the back of the row when there were only regular zombies that you weren't going to get extra value out of. Again, that was sort of the one criticism I would have of this level. But yeah, again, I thought the rest of it was well played. Oh, did it get a third? Okay, all right. Maybe I stand corrected. But yeah, I think I wouldn't have used that Hypno, given that like it felt like the 50% rule was like going to be fairly close because of the fume shrooms. But again, you bring up an okay point, I think. And maybe I can't remember whether you ended up needing it later in the level or not. I feel like you might have, but I might be I might be mistaken on that one. Again, I saw a little bit of danger, in using the Doom in the bottom row like that. If you did get a footballer, I didn't realize, I guess, that it was that close to having the spot left. But I think Bulba played this one a little bit riskier than I would have. I'm not necessarily saying wrong. I'm just saying a little riskier there than I think than I would have. Oh yeah, just a misplay there. Yeah, no, it's all good. Yep. Yep. Don't forget to use your shrooms at the end of the level if you only have one regular zombie. They do basically one piece worth of damage. So just again, they're not going to help you. The manip isn't going to matter at that point. So again, yeah, it's a good point too. And by the way, I would like to say the Warmech strategy, and this is a Warmech strategy of using the Puff Shroom on 3-1. I love to see this back in a world record run. This brings me profound joy. I can only describe it as profound joy that the Warmech Puff strategy for this level has come back to life, and that was part of a world record run. This is just the greatest freaking thing. The greatest thing ever. I am very, very, very pleased to see this in a run. This sort of was the strat sort of before we took the walnut. Because again, like I think the thing with the walnut is that like you can just be a lot more precise about like when you activate the lawnmower and the value of that, even though it costs 50 sun and the puff shrooms cost nothing. That value of being able to time when you use the lawnmower again, I think is just super super valuable. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, but again, I'm very very pleased to see our friend the puff shroom, alive and well for this level. So, um, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why, again, like sort of before, again, just really before we were like that good about, and again, you can see here, like, yeah, didn't need the walnut for this wave, but again, not only can it help you time the lawnmower, but sometimes it can help like right before the final wave, right? If you have like an 8th wave zombie in the pool that just needs to be stalled out, the walnut can really help you for that as well. Yeah, again, it is interesting. The puff, I think it was just because it's like, well, it's free. We're not going to use anything, and we're then more likely to be able to use, to get value by getting a cone head later on in the level, right? And just like it's free, right? Like it's very hard to argue with free at the end of the day. So yeah, so. Again, I'd say this, yeah, not badly played here at all. Just kind of like didn't get like tons of value out of the lawnmowers, and yeah, just kind of not quite the RNG I think you need for like a really really excellent level here. So. Again, I actually like the chomper there. Yeah, again, unfortunately, luckily the misclick didn't cost Bulba anything there, but that could have been a disaster if one or both of them had, had moved ahead a little bit. That could have been like a 15-second
Like I should not
so.
be. You know what? Okay, I have no idea.
Yep.
I know.
I would blame that mostly on RNG Bulba. Again, I think that's
because this is.
yeah, again, I think
I'm playing so badly
that's
right
totally fair. So.
This is not the time to get this win badly because
yep,
wow.
that's just what you get. So.
I'm not playing well. I feel. I'm not going to say the RNG is brilliant either. 3 cones.
Yeah. I'm still torn about P shooter versus repeater on this level.
I'm certainly not.
Sometimes I do find that like it's hard to get enough P shooters down. Like you're limited by the cooldown of the P shooter just a little bit too much on this level, especially because like it's not that hard to build up 200 sun. But yeah, again, I can kind of see the case for either way on it, right? But sometimes it is very nice if you just have some cleanup duty with the pea shooter, that was it. But again, I do like I think the walnut is the better play there. So, but yeah, we'll see. Again, that's not to say that that's definitive. This worried me when Bulba played this repeater because that's a fast boy. That's a fast boy conehead right there, and. I was not feeling comfortable when I watched this for the first time. Again, luckily it does work out, and but that again I think this is maybe Bulba's experience kind of coming through that made me really Fabix, welcome by the way. Bulba got a world record back on Tuesday of this week, I think, and very kindly, graciously sort of offered that if I wanted to do an analysis run that that I could do that. Again, I like the use of the cherry bomb there. Again, kind of cleaning up, not the zombie in the pool as well, right? You're not going to get mower value out of that until you get the pool cleaner. So no point in letting them go. Just make it happen. So that's great. This is good. I still love doing that so much. I gotta tell you, I wouldn't have thought to use a walnut there. Again, I think this was an interesting one. It potentially slowed down this wave because he didn't have enough for a chomper right away. So I don't dislike the strategy. I just, again, hindsight's always 20/20, right? Knowing that you're gonna get 2 cone heads in the pool, like that just sucks. But I would have been a little bit worried about using that much sun. For again placing the lily pad and the walnut sort of not being sure, sort of, whether you were going to need that sun for the next wave.
Also,
So
might never
again,
need
not a major
ymblcza
criticism. I
until
just,
final wave.
I think I would have thought twice,
Give me a bonus football, though. It's not
about
right now,
that.
but,
Yeah, that's one example. I think where maybe letting it go to the mower would have been the play. You save a
Give me
little
a
bit of
bonus football,
sun.
though, for
It's,
Nope.
yeah, you don't have to sort of worry, letting
No,
one of
no,
them go, right? It's
no.
not going to be a problem. It's not going to
Everything is
slow
fine.
down any of your later waves. You're not putting anything in danger. I think that's
You wanna
right.
wake up?
I think, yeah, blackened. I think that would have been the way to do it. So, yeah, it can be useful for the ambushes as well, but like, is it even going to survive to the ambush? I don't know. So, yeah, again, not a major criticism. Just would have, yeah, I would have, I wonder if there was a better way to handle that one. We'll see. Again, yeah, great. I really like the squash and the cherry use right here, right? Sort of waiting to see whether the second or the fifth row was going to be the better squash placement, and then sort of executing
Whoa,
it
that is
the
strange.
way that
Probably
Bulba
good
did. Again, I
warp,
thought
right?
that was again, not profound, but I thought that was a very well played final wave. To kind of really make the best use of those two plants. So that's good. Oh yeah. The newspaper PvZ one, honestly, easy tier, gold tier for zombies that appear, and they just totally transformed him. I know this is crazy, but I actually like the newspaper in PvZ2 better. Like, I like that danger and like sort of how different it acts compared to other zombies. So I like the design of the newspaper zombie much better in PvZ2 than PvZ1. But I don't blame
This is where
people
8
for
slots
saying,
starts becoming
like,
not
runners
excessive,
don't
which is
need
really
like
nice.
that level of
And you just add
anxiety.
8 slots when you're playing.
Like he's real brutal. They definitely stepped up the brutality level, I would say, in PvZ2. I don't think it's better designed
Because I
overall,
think I definitely
but
fumbled with that.
I do like the way that they sort of
When it's just like superfluous.
added additional challenges in PvZ2. What I was wondering, Bulba, what was sort of your decision here for the pea shooter in row 6 as opposed to row 2? Because I would have thought maybe that you could clear out row 2 and then get another mower value in row 6. Yeah, again, I was kind of wondering about sort of your thought process there. I don't, like, again, I can kind of see it, and you need places to plant the sunflowers, but you would have had basically all of row 2 anyway for the sunflowers, sort of before row 6 even became an option. So yeah, I was curious about that. Repeater using the mower anyways, people aren't going to be spawning where the repeaters. That's a good point. Yeah, no, that's fair. Utilizing sort of the spawning mechanic as opposed to sort of the value piece of it. Yeah. Yeah, all right.
Which
Yeah,
I
I think that's right. You don't want the repeater to be idle for any longer than it really has to be. I think that's a good point. It's sort of like, is the value that you're getting from the repeater being idle, is that more than whatever value you would get from the row 6 mower, which already was sort of a little bit of uncertainty. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Oh god,
So
I don't like this.
yeah, I was curious about that when I watched that for the first time, but yeah, interesting. So yeah, very good.
I have an idea.
Yeah, he has an idea. Which again, if this stresses you out, don't feel bad. You're not alone. This stressed me out to no end. No question. At first, I thought he was going to let row 2 go, and then
Wait,
I think he realized, oh crap, I don't have a lawnmower there, so I can't let row 2 go. Oh crap, and what am I going to do? I have nothing in row 3. So again, this level really stressed me the f out. I got to tell you, Bulba, that this was really yeah, exactly, yeah, the snorkels can really get to moving very, very quickly. And luckily, you did hit all 3 of them. I was worried you weren't going to, and that we were going to have a real problem on our hands there. But yeah, luckily it worked out at the end. And again, I think the hit detector of those lawnmowers going into the pool was sort of just good enough to be able to manage it. But yeah, again, yeah, if you were as stressed as I was at this level, I don't blame you, because that's what we got. Yo, Sasquatch, what's going on? Bulba World Record, thanks for joining us for the analysis. Feel free, leave your comments, your thoughts. Bulba's with us right here. Your questions. Again, I kind of love learning how runners sort of think about each of these decisions when they have a moment to sort of, sit back and, not be in the stress of like trying to talk and play and run and engage with chat and all that stuff. So that was great. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Slim. Yeah, though that was a great mower, but yeah, it felt like it was right on the line of potentially being disaster. So that's yeah, so that's great. Um, I
I'm
still
really
look at
upset with myself. I feel like I fumbled this run. This one should have been
yeah
the craziest RNG ever. Like
yeah.
the
I
craziest
mean,
world record ever.
it's one of those like I think I can see why you felt that way, Bulba, at the time, but like you know there was a lot of it that was outside of your control too. Again, not that like things could have been better. That we all have sort of the hindsight of being able to sit here and think through things and think through the mistakes and whatnot. But I really didn't feel like there were that many mistakes, even in
This is
hindsight,
almost
even
happened
having the benefit
like
of
three
sort of like
columns in a row.
knowing what was going to happen too. So that's
Like, I've squash column it three
that's
times
yeah.
in a row now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Since
that's a
the squash
great
column
question,
started.
Bubba. Yeah, when did you feel like this, like, all right, like, I think, like, I think this has a real chance? Was it after day levels? Was it, heading into 510, right? Like, any of those answers, I think, are totally legitimate, by the way. But, yeah, yeah. This is very valuable. I also, I did add having chat, having the chat messages put in here as well. Yeah, again, that was a tough one. I
That
think
guy.
yeah,
With
I do
very low
think that
health.
that was ultimately a blunder. I think I just would have put the repeater one space back. Again, I know it's again very easy to kind of sit here and feel that
This
way at
guy's
the time,
fast. I
but
need to
like
be careful
he was
about
moving
repeaters.
fast. It was a dangerous play, and you can just put the sunflower, kind of one space
It
forward.
should be
Oh,
fine.
you got the fifth diamond in 410. Ah, interesting. Yep. Oh, another strategy, very important strategy to talk about for those of you that sort of maybe haven't tuned into a world record run in a long time is you'll notice that Bulba is digging up the Tangle Kelp once it sort of makes that clicking sound that it has the zombie. What we found out there is that by digging it up, you basically the zombie registers as dead about 1 second sooner than they would if you sort of waited for basically like the drowning animation to take place. So yeah, again that's the deliberate thing, and again it does help save a second, basically killing the zombie or sort of eliminating their hit points from the 50% rule about 1 second back. Yeah, Tangle Tech. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, kind of learning, some of those behind the scenes, mechanical stuff. Again, has definitely been another, benefit that's sort of just come. I think within the last month or two. It was pretty recent, if I recall, that we sort of put that we sort of put that together. Yeah, but the Tangle Tech, again, I think a really cool sort of thing here. Again, I like Bulba's use of planting a repeater first and then getting the Tangle Kelp planted in the pool to guarantee the 50% roll. I think that was actually a deceptively difficult wave to strategize. I think Bulba did a really good job of that here as well. So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of those mistakes that worked, right? Wait a sec. Did I actually kill him faster? The answer is yep. That worked. I like the idea of the cherry here. I am amazed that it actually got as many zombies as it did. Again, I don't think I would have
Okay.
had the balls to
Look at everything that's off cooldown.
to
I am
place
just
it
using
there
that was
specifically.
very
But
bad. Okay.
yeah, that was that one was really really tight. That I
Bring this
was
one
not
back.
sure when I saw that live or when I saw that on the video. I was not sure that was going to work out. Also, you'll notice there that was not luck that the Chomper ate the bucket head first. Bulba could see that the bucket head was a little bit farther forward, and so by planting the Chomper there, you are guaranteed for it to hit the whatever zombie's hitbox is ahead at the moment that the chomping animation completes. It would be cool if there was a Tangle Tech that worked with Chompers as well, right? Like at the moment that like the Chomper started the animation, if you could dig it up and potentially save a second there too. But obviously the animation is so fast, I don't think, and I think that like it registers the kill so quickly. I don't think that that's actually something, that would that would happen. But it would be cool if that worked, right? If like there was sort of like a way to sort of micro plants to get them to like register a kill, just a little bit more quickly. Very bad and not fast. Yeah. No, that would have been my prediction. Again, whether intentional or unintentional. But yeah, you can see here again. This is a third flag. Mower strat, which again I do like on these levels. That again, like the cherry bomb at the end of it can be very very scary, right? And just being able to like squish the zombies a little bit more tightly, right, can really make the difference between Again, a good, again, a good flag and a bad one. So a good final wave and a bad one. So yeah, not a lot I think Bulba could have done there. Basically, all of the rows really like needed the cherry bomb at the end of the day. So I don't think that I really don't see a way to to make that final wave any better than it was. It just exactly. Yeah, exactly. Accidentally dug up the jalapeno. Oh yeah, I remember that. That stuff ought to go down in PvZ Legend. Exactly. Not even the global trolled, but just the real stuff of Legend right there. That like because again the animation for the jalapeno is super quick. So like you wouldn't think that there's a chance at all of being able to do that. But yeah. Yeah, I can't believe having 3.4K by 3.5. I've had 3.4K by 3.5 without buying the extra seed slot. By the way, I've been sub 4. Maybe it's not 3.4, but I've been sub 5K or sub 4K at 3.5 without the mower. So yeah, let's just put that into perspective. So yeah, very funny. Again, I think we talked about it maybe in the last tutorial video, but what Bulba's doing here is basically manipulating the conveyor belt that once you wait till the third and the fourth of a particular type of plant appears on the conveyor, you can all but guarantee that particular plant won't appear again. So basically, if you don't want walnuts and lily pads, which we really don't on this level within reason, the more you should let them sort of stack up, and then you're guaranteed to get more cherries and pea shooters later on in the level. So we call this, conveyor belt manipulation, or things like that. Again, you can basically alter the probability of the next plant being something by basically letting them sort of get backlogged in your in your conveyor. So that's great. 3.4K by 4.5, exactly. No, been there, done that. Yep, that's been right there with you. So yeah, that's funny. Again, I do think in the second half of the level, especially as you get to this 17th, 18th, 19th flag, you don't really want to manipulate the conveyor any more than you absolutely have to. Getting good strategic use of the walnuts here, I think, is sort of more important than anything as well. Again, yeah, if you ever get a cone head that's like very far forward like that, always want to make sure you get that second pea shooter in there, or that you have a third cherry bomb to be able to eliminate them pretty quickly. So that's good.
Anyway, this is what I'm gonna do, because once this
sorry, what were we talking about?
But it does have a lot of
PvZ2. It doesn't work. Sorry, what strategy are you talking about specifically? The Tangle Kelp? Yeah, I guess maybe we haven't tried it in PvZ2 if you're talking about the Tangle Kelp strategy. Oh, the conveyor belt manipulation in PvZ2. No, I don't think the conveyor belt manipulation in PvZ2 is actually different. You actually want to place the plants as fast as you can, because the more plants you have on the conveyor, the slower the conveyor will give you your next plant. So it's actually the opposite in PvZ2, that you want to plant the plants, even if they're junk, even if they're garbage, you want to plant them as quickly as possible, because if you wait till you have 7, 8, 9 plants on the conveyor, they'll actually start appearing more slowly than before, which does happen in PvZ1, but exactly. The PvZ2, I think it's a much more pronounced effect. Yeah. So yeah, very important not to over manipulate the conveyor, because then basically you're sort of like defeating, you're kind of defeating the purpose of it as well. So again, I think that's why like that 6 to 7 I think is sort of a sweet spot, because once you get to 8 or 9, basically the game's like, oh, you're not using the plants, F off, that's you're not getting any more. So that's good. Again, another strategy improvement that I would say, although I use the improvement in air quotes, Bulb, because I'm not totally sold on this one. But is this idea of you can actually see the Tangle Kelp. Watch this. So he gets him really quickly, and then bam, huge wave is approaching, right? Like you can visibly see how quickly the game registers that as well. But anyway, 3-6, Bulba, you may have noticed Bulba is missing what you would think would be a critical plant or class of plants on this level, specifically the pea shooters. That again, the idea being that it's not particularly long of a level. You have the extra seed slot, and we have the jalapeno. So with basically the use of
See, this is a
what is
problem.
this? Five instance on this level. You can
With this level
potentially,
in particular.
make the level go
As
really, really
Bob
quickly,
says.
but it does fall
I'm not
risk,
saying
as you
all
can
movies on
see
Bob
on
says. What
this
do you mean? Is it
particular
Bob
wave.
says
If
right
you
now?
get a
Yes,
lot
they
of
are.
regular
No, put them in the
zombies
form
in
of
the
normal
second
movies.
half, you're not going to get those 50% rules very fast, and you're just going to be,
40%
you're
chance.
just going to leave yourself actually being slower than you would have before. So this I would call the high risk, high reward strategy for 3.6. It can work, especially again if your preview is telling you that you have a lot of cone heads and again sort of the high value zombies. But you can see right here, look at that. That was what, 7 or 8, 7, I think. Maybe 6. I don't even know. It was a lot of regular zombies in that, in that wave, and it really cost Bulba again. I think a good amount of time. Again,
That's
as
really
well
good
as
for bonus
the
environment.
19th wave, I also think is one that is sort of like extreme
Yeah,
danger
hopefully one of
because
these
now it's
guys is
like,
waking
what
up.
is
This
Bulba
head
gonna
probably
do for the rest of this level, right?
looks
You
fine.
have the pool cleaners, all right, so maybe that helps you. All right, you get the tangle kelp, all right. Now let's wait, but we don't have any sun, so it's really slow to get the chomper. You know what I mean? So like, there's definitely a level of risk, I think, that it, that we have there. Yeah, again, then of course gets trolled with the Zomboni in the final wave. The not being able to get as much value maybe as he could have with the cherry in the final wave as well too.
Eh.
So I don't dislike this strategy,
It's
but
not
I
as good
do
on
think
3.6
that
anyways.
like
If I got
you're
bonus on
really
Boney, it
sort
would
of
have been a
opening
bit
yourself
greater.
up to like a much broader range of like the good is going to be really good, but the bad is going to be really bad. Yeah, the bonus Zamboni would actually be another great example of where that strategy could like really pay off in spades. Where you're like, you're already playing very high risk, and then the 19th wave comes in and it's like bam, and it's done. And then you can set up for the final wave. Everything's going to be off cooldown. Yeah. So not a below average level by any stretch, and definitely better than my 3.6s. A fair chunk of the time. But yeah, again, that strategy, it does feel like the high risk, high reward play. So I'm not that I'm not sold on it, but that like you have to go into that even if you play it absolutely well, which is very hard to do. It's harder as well. I would say is the other thing. It's much easier to make a mistake or a blunder, that ends up really kind of biting you, in the butt. So
That seems to spawn
yeah.
quicker.
Yeah. I remember 3.7 not going great, but kind of one of those could have been better. Could have been worse. Again, he takes the jalapeno in place of the potato mine. Again, do I love it? I do think it really
I could say
helps
that.
in the later flags, but I do always feel like you're sort of paying for it in these early flags, right? Because like the potato mine is so sweet when you have like, the rake and the potato mine and the squash, right? You can really just obliterate these early these early waves so well, and it can even potentially help you, with a huge wave here and there. Helps a little bit with the final wave, things like that. Um, Yeah. Oh, interesting point, Paul. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's again, I don't think it's bad. I don't think that it's even necessarily going to cost time. It's just kind of a it's definitely kind of a proceed with caution sort of thing too. I like actually not using the squash there, knowing that again, it was going to take the conehead a little while to actually get in the pool. So again, very nice strategic move. I think that's that's right there. So. To plant something before a zombie appears in a row. Yeah, basically we're basically playing with the probabilities that basically when a zombie appears in a row, say row 1, it means that for the next 2 waves, zombies are less likely to appear in that row as well. So sometimes what we'll do, we'll kill a zombie again, say in row 1, then immediately plant a potato mine, hoping that like by 1 or 2 waves after that, it'll be likely that a zombie will appear in that row again. So yeah, we don't know for sure where the zombies are going to appear, but we can sort of play with the probabilities a little bit, to try to get sort of the best result, possible. Yeah, I can definitely see, the case where the jalapeno, the later time save for the jalapeno could arguably be better than the early time save that you get from the potato mine. But yeah, again, I'm not even, yeah, again, I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with it, but it's just an interesting strategy choice that again I think has some like, it's sort of a very difficult to like test or prove sort of scenario. But yeah, again, I do love like again those like that 19th wave there is just an absolute beauty. No question for sure. So. Yeah, it's hard to see it sort of pay off, in sort of a like a non-task setting. Yeah, the other thing is again is the helping does sort of guarantee that you don't really need to. You can focus your firepower elsewhere, right? You can basically ignore, other than maybe an occasional chomper or instant, one of the rows entirely, right, and really sort of focus the value of what you're getting, in the other rows as well, sort of the valuable repeaters and stuff. So yeah, interesting one for sure. So. Yeah, so maybe, again, a good idea of, in a run that, again, it's hard to say a run that matters, a run that's, a top time or something like that. Yeah, but that's interesting. Yep. I did like the use of the jalapeno that Bulba had here, and I actually did like that Tangle Kelp too, that now Bulba can basically guarantee that it's going to have value here for the 29th wave. And maybe we'll only have like one little zombie to deal with, one of the ambush zombies in the final wave as well. So again, I thought this was really well, again, a good executed version of the strategy, even if the time didn't end up being like the greatest thing in the world. So I might have pre-planted a chomper here. I'm not sure where. I don't necessarily think even in that third row, which is really kind of like where you needed it. Yeah, I saw this and I was like, ooh, like I actually think, that small execution mistake there too. Yeah, that just kind of burned you. So again, I actually think the strategy would have been better. You probably would have been right around a 6:15 or something like that. It happens. I just think you could have maybe set yourself up a little bit better by having one chomper ready in the pool, and then you might have been able to sort of back yourself out, maybe have the Tangle Kelp to use on that other bucket head, and maybe a chomper, the second chomper that comes back, so that would have been the one the one thing. I remember this level too. This level is special. We'll put it that way for those of you that have not seen it yet. This is a special level that once again, no repeaters. So we'll see sort of what that means for some of the strategies and whatnot. But it's very cool. Exactly. Yeah. You can we'll maybe start to see some of these kind of higher risk task strats have a higher likelihood of paying off here. Again, I've been very, very stressed about these potato mines, but they are, again, when you're very tight with that execution, it can really pay off. Can really pay off big time for sure. Yep. So, yep. I don't want to spoil too much more about this level, but we'll really start to see sort of again some of these strategies I'm talking about, lawnmowers and heavier reliance on instants, right? These strategy improvements really start to pay off. Again, one disclaimer here, some of these strategies not recommended at home if you're a newer runner or a casual runner. We do not necessarily recommend these for, sort of anybody, but, maybe kind of the most experienced of runners, I think would maybe be the way to put it. But yeah, just be very, very careful when playing with matches, because this can really, this can go horribly wrong sometimes. Yeah, do not try this strat at home, period. So, yeah. But again, you get the dolphins, you have a couple of pre-planted Tangle Kelps, and things can start to get a little bit hairy. You ask yourself, which of these waves do I want to let go? Oh crap, the bottom row, that's not looking too happy. We have all of our sunflowers there and no defenses. So like I'd say this wave 13 is about when things start to get very, very stressful. For this particular strategy, because like you're trying to like pre-plant and plant ahead, and basically always trying to stay like one wave ahead of like where the problems are going to be, but like because you don't know where the problems are going to be, it can make it sort of very difficult to to pull off. And yeah, again, you see a lot of regular zombies, you're like, oh boy, is this going to be great? You don't get a lot of value out of that mower. Is this going to be a problem? Am I getting the 50% rules? Oh god, we get the double dolphins here, which like, for the final wave, that could be stressful because you're going to get dolphins on the final wave. It's just, it's an interesting thing. And now again, the final wave's kind of coming down and you're like, well, You know, where are we doing? I actually like the pre-planted lily pad there because again, you know there's going to be problems. You know there's going to be problems in that wave too. So again, yeah, really like this. Even the jalapeno on top of it just to help clear out that wave a second or two faster. This was an absolute
Finally
beauty.
got a good level.
No, I haven't seen the new task stress with the ice cream. Yeah, if you want to post it, I would love to see that. Again, maybe a task strat of like, you can prevent zombies from appearing in the in the pool, right? Is that sort of the idea behind it? Yeah, tied global gold. Wow, that's crazy. Was it within a frame of global gold, or was it, yeah? Did you actually like frame count it? Because that's crazy. Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, again, that's sort of the idea of like that's how the strategy can be used right, or really used to affect. Oh wow, 0.01 seconds behind. Yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy. Yep. Anyway, moving on to 2.9. This is another one again where we sort of tossed around some strategies of, do we take the torchwood, which sort of helps in the later waves? Do we take the potato mine, kind of helping earlier waves? Or yeah, there's sort of a lot of again, or do we skip the cherry bomb, right? And we take the potato and the torchwood, and potentially sort of risk, again, some of the 19th wave maybe, and the final wave being a little bit more challenging too. So yeah, so very interesting, very interesting. Yeah, 310 best casual level. I think we could all agree on that one, or most of us would agree on that one. But from a speedrunning perspective, God, until you've had a bad 310, I don't think that necessarily you can fully appreciate sort of the what a disaster that level can be. Yeah, absolute nastiness. Yeah, again, these first flags are very great. We used to be at the point where a sub 230 first flag was considered like god tier, and now Bulba's just busting out 220, 215. Like it's absolutely nothing. So again, just sort of goes to speak of sort of like what feels like a really strong and optimized strat at one point. Sometimes could just not getting laughed in the face, but can be really, really doing that as well. Yeah, I wanted to point out too, waiting to place the sunflower until he jumps so that you can get a few more frames of damage in on him with combined with the Tangle Kelp, sort of guaranteed the 50% roll. Yeah, again, I thought that was a very clever move, about that as well. Oh yeah, super satisfying to spam the three Peters, but yeah, we'll have to see. So that's good. Yeah, named each level. Oh yeah, yep. Again, I do appreciate good split names. One of my favorite things that came. Also, look how freaking fast that Vaulter was. He outpaced the regular zombie like by a lot. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a post jumping Vaulter that had speed quite like that. That must have been like near max speed. That thing was crazy. Yeah, commentates in his offline runs. Yeah, oh yeah, yep. A lot of times will turn my microphone off in offline runs, just sort of thinking like, if I get like a world record, I get something that's really good, I want to do that commentary, kind of like I did for, Night Hard and, some of the survival ILs that, I've put together in the last year or so. Yeah, knowing like, all right, I just want to sit back and focus while I'm playing, and then I can sort of add the more intelligent commentary over that after the fact. So yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, this gets a little scary without the Torchwood. It's not bad, but you can sort of see that like your plants definitely can get not overrun, but it can get a little dicey. But again, having even you see the potato mine, get at least a little value out of the potato mine here in the second half of the level, not to mention the first flag as well. So. Oh, good, great. Yeah, I'm glad you used the tips for survival. Yeah, no, again, I'm glad I'd sort of done a lot of running, and I don't think anyone had sort of put together maybe a full-fledged, kind of proper survivals run. So yeah, I'm really glad you could use it, Black End. I really appreciate that. That's very kind. So I might have used a chomper on that bucket head there. I see why you didn't, but Yeah, again, I was kind of worried just about like it feels like it takes forever sometimes for zombies to get in the pool and like actually take a hit from the Tangle Kelp. So again, kind of getting trolled in the pool. Not that that's like totally unexpected, but yeah, I guess you do get the Tangle Kelp back by kind of the end of the wave too. So yeah, again, ends up being very good. Again, better than my gold split, which I think is like a 618 or 619 on that level. So again, what do I what do I know, right?
I
Yeah.
really like another
I'm just an old washed up
another
runner. I gotta tell you, I'm
I know
so
that's happening for a lot
relieved
considering
when I
the
get my
gold diamonds
second
and the 427.
three-peater on this level, because then I at least know that, like, all right, no matter what happens, it's not gonna be like that bad. It's not gonna be, the end of the world. So I get this like huge sigh of relief when I get my second three-peater. Certainly a third or any of that, is just kind of really, really
I mean,
icing
I
on the
don't particularly
cake.
want.
But
Okay, I guess I did this.
yeah, yeah. So that's
I don't want jalapeno nib really. I still don't want it.
Yeah. Again, being very aggressive with the instants early. The instants really help you at the beginning of this level, not so much at the end. So again, I really like your aggressive use of the instants. Anytime there's sort of a pesky, bucket head or, even a cone head sometimes, if, before you got your firepower out, that's it. Yeah, yeah, I could see a strat where you just plant the three-peaters in the first half, but then, like, I could see that burning you, too, that if you don't get enough firepower by the second half, you end up in a real pickle. You end up in a really, really tough situation. Yeah, again, another kind of, I'd say, high-risk, high-reward sort of play to get good use of the mowers on this level. But, yeah, again, a 144 on the first flag is ridiculous. That's really, really nice. This is probably about when I would have breathed a sigh of relief, is actually right at this flag, right? Because this 310 isn't going to be that bad, because already, the first flag is good, and even, if you don't get, like, as many Torchwoods and stuff, you're still probably going to be okay. But this is about when if I were you, I would have started thinking, ooh, like, does this have a chance to get a world record? Would have been right at the beginning of this second flag. You've just had a very good pool, yeah, so anyway, that's just that someone was asking about that earlier. That's just sort of my opinion on that one. So yeah, again, interesting strategy to use the tall nuts to block. Basically to really try to bunch up the zombies in the pool a little bit more quickly. I do like this as a potential strategy improvement. Again, you do end up kind of potentially exposing yourself to to the Dolphins a little bit more. But again, once you have a couple of Torchwoods and enough repeaters, the Dolphins really aren't a threat, and there's really no purpose in like waiting till they jump and then they block the animation and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, exactly. It doesn't give them the invulnerability frames. Exactly right. Yeah. So I actually really do like that, as a strategy as well. You kind of bulk up the non-dolphin zombies earlier, and again, generally save the iframes for the dolphins in the second half of the level. Yeah, and the snorkels will come out faster. Yeah, that's an excellent point. So again, not a major optimization, but definitely one I think that's worth talking about. Again, that I think is really the right play. At the end of the day, and it actually gives you a better spot to put your Tangle Kelp, because by putting it right in column 8 or even in column 7 like you do, you can help yourself on the final wave, you help yourself against the Dolphins, so you actually get better value on average, I would say, out of the Tangle Kelps than you would most of the time, in the second half of the level as well too. Yeah, you could
really
move
good.
ahead the Torchwoods a little bit. Again, you're on a little bit of a risk. It can kind of depend on some of the instances, but again, I think this setup is, again, is very, very good here. Yeah, definitely a jalapeno needed there. And then you could argue, bottom row versus. I don't think it was a huge difference either way, but you could have argued you could have used the squash in the bottom row, maybe saved maybe a half a second tops. But again, I'd say, yeah, again, a very, very clean pool. Excellent time.
We have again the diamond though.
Coming out of it. Again, a
I think
155 is
the
insane. I think my best time coming out of pool is somewhere in the like 158 range or something like that. So again, yeah, just really kind of blows my mind that even these 155s are possible.
At least 15 is angling.
We've had a little bit of a debate about fog, about sort of like, do we think fog is sort of the least RNG dependent and potentially, maybe it's not the highest skill cap, but I think Boy, it's hard to say. Maybe it's the least RNG dependent. I think it is. Maybe pool is a little less RNG dependent. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think?
The Jack in the Box might go second though.
You think it's really RNG dependent? I compare it to day, and I'm like, no freaking way. Day is awful.
Let's go.
You know, then I compare it to night, and I'm like, oh yeah, every level has RNG crap that can like throw it off by like 15 seconds, right? These huge blocks of RNG. And in the roof, I can't get over, again, for me, like having lost so many Column 9 squashes to the, basketball launchers and things like that, and 5.5 existing, I can't call the roof the least RNG dependent. So I think it puts it between pool and fog, and I don't know, yeah, it does have the balloon and the digger zombies, but like, all those like can kind of be dealt with. Like if you get really bad luck, you can still be in trouble. Yeah, this is actually good. I actually liked how quickly you used the Doom Shroom on that level because you had some two really fast cone heads appear in the pool. So yeah. Also looking at those cone previews, that's a bit it. So yeah, gain or lose tiny little bits. I guess that's fair. Yep, that's definitely a good one. Yeah, 4-2 is this is a nice level. A nice level coming up. I will say, and again, this is me ranting. I really like. It's gonna take some profound evidence to convince me that buying the rake is not worth it for when you have the money for 4-2 and 4-6, right? I just like
definitely down there, yeah.
Like all it takes is one bad zombie, I actually do agree that on fog people overrate the conehead zombies a little bit. It's not quite as bad, I think, as even in the night levels, because in the night levels it can really screw you because you have the graves to worry about. But I do think that the coneheads are probably a little overrated in terms of their danger, to the fog levels, I think. Yeah, 410, I guess, 410 exists, right? And 4-7, I used to think it was more RNG dependent than I think it really is at the end of the day. It's, it's not that it's not, but,
well, that's a start.
I do think that there are ways to address 4-7 to really minimize, your risk of, like, yeah, sometimes you just get a million bucket heads and you haven't taken any instants, or other way around. You get a million, cone heads that you just can't deal with. So, yeah, I'd hear you have C8 puffs, the Column 8 puff strats to make the rake a bit less, impactful. Yeah, no, I do think that's fair, right? I do think that's fair. But like, I feel like all you need is just that one level, and already all of those rakes have paid for themselves in terms of time. Like, all it takes is one bad zombie, right, or one bad start. And like, yeah, you can argue, all right, then your second wave and your third wave will be a little bit faster, But it's just going to take a lot to, like, again, it's a resource, right? And, like, yeah, it takes you 2 seconds to go and get it. But, like, I just have to believe that over the course of 3 levels, that 2-second cost more than pays for itself. I just have to believe that on average, given that you can't get that many, you just can't get that many puff shrooms out that early. Yeah, I mean, what a beauty. What a time to get a Column 8. Again, like, I think the things that went well this level, again, Bulba just, really excellent strategic use of the potato mine, or sorry, of the squash, of the doom, all that stuff. Again, yeah, just what a absolute masterpiece of a level, a global gold of 350, which, like,
that's a global
just
gold.
feels impossible. At the end of the day, just a level where not only did everything go right, but I think Bulba executed it just to perfection.
Maybe this one is turning around.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're where you need roof cleaners, I think that's a fair point too. If you're worried about money, to get a good time, I think that's, I think that's fair. So, but
That's
I don't know. If you're not worried about money, I still feel like you have to take the rake. Like, it has to save more than 2 seconds over the course of 3 levels on average.
That's down there.
I've just seen too many times where, that first zombie shows up in the wrong row and you're like, all right, I've now lost 6, 7, seconds on that first flag alone, and I'm not going to make that up even with a great, second or third um, wave. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, wanting to save it because you want roof cleaters, totally legit. Totally legit. So. Again, yeah, the first flag of fog just really isn't that scary at the end of the day. So again, you're right. 4-3, RNG dependent, definitely. Again, yeah, getting it in the pool like that's very unfortunate.
So long, I
but
was that.
At the end of the day, like, I just feel like bad luck in day can cost you 15 seconds. Bad luck in night can cost you 15 seconds. I feel like it's so rare that you lose 15 seconds, compared to like a good or even an average time on fog that, like, to say that, like, the RNG is like that much of a factor. Like, sure, the digger, like, it can help
Basically
you, but like you're just not going to lose that much time.
But I didn't get bad
at the end of the day, I feel like compared to the other levels. I do wonder if you should maybe consider a Doom in
I cannot believe that 4-2 Doom got
column 8, row 4 in the pool if you've used the mower in the top row, if you have the sun for it. I didn't see if you did or not, so I think that's fair. But
I just feel like I'm not playing very well. 310 was also amazing. Like, doing well in fog and 310 isn't exactly the boost of confidence I was looking for, but it's still obviously very nice.
You're going to gain or lose, time in certain levels, so you're always sort of, I think you're your own worst critic sometimes on these things, but I think obviously I think you've been playing great. Very, very few, like, huge blunders, I would say. Again, the miss in the final wave in the pool, and some of the misclicks in the night levels and things like that. But, like, really no major strategic blunders, I would say. It's been pretty clean with really no major mistakes, and the number of minor mistakes being, like, certainly well within kind of the scope of reason. I think even if you played everything perfect, you save a little bit of time, obviously. There's always sort of a lower threshold. But, yeah, looking at Bulba's split name, let's just say we'll have a discussion about whether Blover or Plantern is the better plant. I think I might have a way to prove that a little bit more objectively. We're foreshadowing a little bit there. Oh, yeah, 4-5 is coming up. Yeah, that's, yeah.
I think that's
that was... that was a special level, but in a different way. So it's crazy.
Really good.
Very good first flag. Again, a low, 211, 212, 213. That's nice. Again, I do think this is a level where you can use that column 9 Doom, and you haven't really lost a lot. I think that's probably the way to go, because you don't need that space as much, because you're using Blovers, right, to sort of help with your 50% rule. You don't need it for the squash or the chomp or the hypno or anything like that. That felt like a particularly slow 50% rule. I don't know what was going on there, but that felt like it must have been like 50.0%, because that was quite a bit. Felt like a particularly slow wave, not Bulba's fault on that one. Yeah, you can definitely sort of see the time save on that one. Yeah, I do like using puffs at sort of the back half of the pool if you really have to. I think it helps save your sea shrooms. Like, again, that one would have died, right, if you hadn't put the puff where you did. So I really like that. I think that's good. Yeah, balloons are very good for 4-4 because it helps, obviously it clears the fog, but also, helps against all the balloons that you get. So, yeah, if you get spammed with one in every wave, and the 19th wave can be pretty challenging.
Maybe
too.
Pool cleaner. Maybe.
Yeah, using pool cleaner, I think that's crazy talk, man. That's definitely crazy talk. But yeah, again, good level. You can't complain about a 410 on 4-4. This level can definitely turn into like 420s, 430s very, very easily. All right, viewers, cover your eyes. I know Bulba's covering his eyes, but the puzzles, even the greatest puzzles player of all time, sometimes can have a moment. again, I know why you didn't buy the rake on this level, but I still sort of deep down wish you had. Yep,
Oh
just
my god, can't believe
it
that happened.
hurts. I didn't want to see this.
I
Yeah,
can't
Puzzles
believe that.
world record holder, by the way. But not to say that anyone can be blunder proof. Yeah, that was a tough
That's
one.
such a big time loss.
Yeah, I see why you waited there, but it just sucks that But again, that was bad luck. That wasn't even kind of bad timing or execution or anything like that. I think you could have made better use of the hypno on this on this level. Potentially, maybe it was row two. I forget which one it was. I think you could have maybe made
That
better
was so
use of the
bad.
hypno and. That as well. But again, small piece. Again, it is what it was. It wasn't even again a terrible level. Just it hurts. Waiting there for 10 to 15 seconds at the end of the second flag because you have to clean up not one but two
Oh,
zombies that
Doom is up
got
top,
missed
why?
by the squash. That's a tough one. Yeah, again, it is easy for 4 or 5 to go wrong. Like you feel like it should be consistent. You feel like you should be able to do it right every single time. But like it is very easy with just the squash hit detection and the dancer and the jack in the box and the bucket heads. Like it's very 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 easy for something to go wrong. So. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tough not being able to use a mower on this level, or really, much of the fog at all. That's yeah, that's a tough one. But again, I'd say fog is certainly the least important of the levels. I would say for getting good mower value. But yeah, it's yeah, not you know feel like overall, always your own worst critic, but not a lot to complain about with the fog levels for this one at all. Again, I thought this was a good potato mine placement. You're trying to set yourself up for sort of the best case scenario that you can. But yep. It was either going to be there or again very likely row two, and
Oh, we
you
hit it on the
just
wrong one.
you flipped a coin, and that was it. But
I knew it
even
was one
still,
of those
the
zombies in
squash
that
is
wave that
not
was gonna
slow, and sometimes you can still get really good use from the potato mine.
keep
If
moving.
you happen to
That's good.
get, I don't know, say a cone head, well, that moves at more than 0 miles an hour. You can get good value from it. On this level. So that's a good one. And again, yeah, making sure your squash is off cooldown. Again, I liked the execution on this. Again, even though you didn't get the godlike, the 220, the 230. Sorts of time. Again, I think that was really good. I like the stalling strat there. That makes a lot of sense. Wait for everyone to get on screen, which for some reason on this level, the zombies just do not want to get on screen. I swear it's like this and 4-9. There's like a couple of the levels where it just feels like for whatever
That's a
reason,
fun
like the
preview.
zombies are just
I love this
super
preview.
slow and like there's a lot of stress in the final wave. 4-7, I would say, is another one. And 4-9. Maybe it's the diggers where you're like, all right, like, oh god, I'm on a time frame, and they show up in the bottom row, and the radius is only like this, so I have to get the doom out. Yeah. So yeah, again, this is it. This is a preview based strat. So Bulba sort of saw, what it felt like he was going to get, particularly in the second half
Put
of the
this down
wave,
there.
and could choose between,
Yeah.
do I take the chomper and try to get a little bit more sun out, or do I take the scaredy shroom because I'm going to have a lot of cone heads and a lot of regular zombies, right? Again, I really do love the idea that we can sort of dynamically, sort of change what we take on this level to, to optimize it a little bit more. That to me is very, very exciting, and again, I think kind of a cool highlight, of the run. So that's awesome. So yeah, but again, sometimes not having the scaredy can sort of make the first half feel a little uncomfortable. And again, if you do happen to just get more cones than expected in the second half, I know for me that sort of adds a little level, of stress. But yeah, again, you see a 1 cone preview and you say, you know what? Let's go for the chomper. Let's go big. Again, I really like that idea of the adjusting the strategy on the fly. Again, that to me is so cool. It really sort of brings out like peak PvZ speedrunning. You're really PvZ speedrunning at its best. So, let's yeah, that's it. So, very, very, very cool. I actually forget some of the highlights in the second half. I think Bulba makes a really good use of the Doom Shroom, here in the second half, if I'm remembering. Or maybe that was one of the critiques I had about it. Again, yeah, I like the Chomper there, right? You're still saving the Gloom to the last possible. That was it. Yeah, again, I love that Doom. I love that Doom. You maybe again small criticism could have put it in the 8th column. Just to make sure that you have that space if you happen to get like a really nasty slow zombie in the 19th wave. So again, you have very, very, very small critique there, but again, yeah, I think like using it, sort of right when you can, knowing that, you're going to get really good value with the digger. Yeah, this is one here. Yeah, again, maybe could have saved a little bit of time. Again, that's not a
This guy's
super
waking
slow
up. I'm glad I
buckethead,
swapped
so
tech, maybe.
I think you got, maybe a little
Yeah,
lucky
that's
there. But
decently annoying.
yeah, you got the extra chomper again, and I think that was good earlier in the level. You'd use the squash to protect the
Oh,
chomper.
do you know what's really annoying?
And that's good. Oh yeah, that's
that
right.
guy
Yeah,
isn't actually. Never mind.
we did get this for the wave 19 anyway. So kind of sucks. Or wave 18, I guess it was. So it wasn't like necessarily that bad. I liked your saving of the chomper here, and the squash for the 19th wave. That's right. I thought that this was on wave 19. It wasn't that bad. But yeah, you sort of get in an uncomfortable position here of like, ooh, like I'm a little low on sun. Really want to make sure I get that up. Oh god, yep. No, so again, been there, done that. Again, I don't think it was a big misplay, but yeah, maybe honestly, because you have maybe you should have planted one more sun shroom too. You would have then guaranteed that you would have had enough sun for, again, sort of a like uncomfortable situation like that where wave 18, 19, and 20 all have like very high sun demands. That might have been the only thing I think you could have done a little bit differently, and you're not really like, you're not using that space anyway. So, maybe the idea of an extra sunflower or sun shroom, if you're going with that strategy, maybe that would have been it. So, yeah, very cool. Yeah. I actually like 4-8. It's up there with one of my favorite levels, certainly in Fog, if not the run. Because like the Pogo's like supposed to be this super scary thing, but you're right. Like you call it not threatening, and I agree. He's just not that threatening, and sometimes can actually help you by getting good more value to help like clean up your your 9th or your 10th wave. So I really I do like it. It's I think it's kind of one of the slightly less stressful levels in Fog overall, I would say. So again, you can actually tell where the Pogo's going to be because you can't see him in the top row, you can't see him in the bottom 2 rows. So yeah, again, I like that. Sometimes you can maybe play around with like your placement of the Scaredy Shroom and maybe try to get some more value out of it. That might be one very slight tweak, that could maybe help you sometimes. But yeah, again, just a kind of a small thing. And love being able to, having enough sun to use squash on that wave. You don't even need the second plantern, and you've certainly saved more than the 150 sun you'll need for the final wave. So very, very cool. Yeah, you did get the Pogo very, very fast on that level as well. That you're like, oh, like I want to guarantee I get the 50% rule. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not necessarily going to get a lot of zombies behind it, but sometimes like then you can know that like, oh, I can put like my other plants in different rows, or especially if it's the top or the bottom. You get like sort of a safer. Sometimes you can get a safer. 9th wave and final wave too. So yeah, not a huge thing, but again, it's probably a low probability thing that you'd actually be able to get.
I've been really hard on myself this entire
time.
time.
I would say.
I feel like Day Exit kind of carried, and then Money. But and this Fog has been ridiculous.
I certainly think that the money helped, but I wouldn't say like maybe it saved you 10 or 15 seconds. Like I wouldn't say like it was like
4-2.
You're only getting a couple of seconds probably on 2-7, 2-8, 2-9.
Yeah.
Even 3-1. You're not really saving anything. 3-2, a little bit, but by then sometimes you'll have the you'll have the seed slot anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't say the money certainly helps, and then the pool cleaners I would say I guess is nice too. So maybe it did help. Maybe it did help quite a bit. I don't know. It's hard to sort of assess the exact impact on how much the extra money early sort of really helped at the end of the day, but honestly, it definitely does feel like we get more diamonds in night on average than we do in like pool, fog, and roof. And like, yes, I know we have the grave busters and that that sort of helps like the number of instants that we use and such. But
Oh,
I
wow,
still
really
feel
nice.
like, I still feel like we get more diamonds in
Nice to
night
look
than
at. See, and that means it'll
statistically
look
we
good as well as
really
the
should.
huge
You know,
waves. I don't need to do an awkward magnet when I can't exactly see.
yeah, the roof cleaners, I think you're right. Yeah, roof cleaners definitely helps. But again, even still, like, it's not like the levels are like god awful.
Okay.
Without it
This
too.
time
Yeah,
still.
I was actually gonna say, I actually think a slight mistake here was
Still awkward.
planting the scaredy shroom at the beginning of the huge wave like you did. I actually think you probably should have saved 100 sun for the magnet. I actually think that was it wasn't going to save you much time if any on the huge wave, and I think making sure that you had the money either for either a blover or another blover or a magnet. I actually think would have been again a slightly better play there.
That was definitely two balloons in the normal.
Wow.
This is also the two balloons in the normal.
Yeah. Yeah, the two balloons is really nice. This freaking balloons tower defense, not PvZ, but
Maybe it should be like instant.
yeah. Yeah, some very, very fast 50% rules. Sort of aside from that, was the 11th or the 12th wave. Those were sort of those were definitely the problematic
Really good,
ones. But
really good.
Yeah, very good level, other than
I have to compare
that.
against a really good 410 though, it's a gold.
Yeah, oftentimes, like right when the first zombie, like you hear that gulp for the ambush zombies in the pool, that often for me is the trigger to use the Doom. That it's usually pretty safe to use the Doom, sort of.
Okay.
Maybe not instantly after that.
Come
but,
on,
kind of
410,
right
come
there.
on, 410, please, please, please.
I guess you're right. 4-9 can be sort of
Right.
RNG dependent. Like if you get
Mine's
nice
right.
spacing with like the balloon
Okay,
zombies
right.
and the metallic zombies and sun RNG,
I
right?
think
I do think
410.
that can I think you're right. I think that can help too. But I wouldn't say that like that's as pronounced as like 1-4 RNG or even 1-8 RNG or 1-6 RNG or 2-7 or 2-9. To be honest, grave placement, right? I feel like can cost way more time than any of that stuff. So,
I'm doing it very early on.
yeah, maybe not as much as 3-9, 2-9, 2-7, 3-1, even 3-1 can definitely be pretty RNG. I know 2-1. I know people hate on my hatred of 2-1, but 2-1 is awful and like fairly RNG dependent for sort of how short and simple it should be. So I guess ratio of skill to RNG, maybe you're right. Maybe it is like a low skill, low RNG world. I'd say like there is some skill in kind of being able to place things right and utilizing the fog and using your blover and your magnet intelligently and using the tangle kelp right and 4-4. I would say there's some skill in fog. Using the dooms incorrectly can be I'd say that's definitely a skill element. I would say. Yeah, I'd say you don't need to deal with the final waves, but you do need to pay attention. Yeah, I thought for sure you were losing that magnet. That is literally the PvZ gods placing their blessing upon you because that was a scary one. I thought for sure that magnet was
Okay,
freaking
230
toast,
with a lot of
and
star
you were,
fruits and 3 magnets on a 2
and
I'll take it.
you were
I
done.
will take it.
So.
Happily.
Oh, another strategy improvement I wanted to call out just for, again, runners that may not have seen this in a while. Using the starfruit along with the pumpkin in column 9 of the pool. I really love this because you can basically use up to 4.
Okay.
You can use up to 4 of the starfruit's projectiles, maybe even 5 sometimes, at least initially, as well. So, so I do really like that part of the strategy. Yeah, I actually would not have used that blower there. I actually think you could have afforded to be a little bit aggressive with the pool cleaner there. I actually think I think that was a slight mistake to use that when you did. Not a huge deal. Oh yeah, another diamond as well. So basically, roof cleaners all but guaranteed at this point. So yeah.
Where is it needed? Yeah.
Oh yeah, manipulating them away from the starfruit. I guess I guess I see your point. I just
But
think that the
that's
potential
weird,
savings of it in saving a blover for, for wave 19 or for wave 20 or something like that. Sometimes, yeah, the game just doesn't give you that many blovers, and, having one on hand, I think would have been like you didn't get any value out of it, I think, other
Okay,
than
give me a
saying,
sub
well,
5,
I would have
and maybe I can
saved
explode.
that row, but I don't, yeah, I just don't know if I agree that that was the way to go there. Not a major, definitely not a major thing. Again, game fairly generous with magnets. I've had worse magnet RNG for sure. And really, anything sub 5 is great
It's
for
gonna be
this level.
tight,
Bubba was up against his gold,
but I have roof
in
borders.
this level before, so you got to expect you're going to lose at least 20, if not 30, and even 40 seconds wouldn't have been too crazy. So. Um, Oh, yeah, another slight strategy adjustment, taking both the pea shooter and repeater, and skipping the chomper on this level. I do like it. I do think it's again, it's kind of a cool use. I you know I do. I don't know if absolutely the cherry's worth it
I
here, but
usually
I
don't
do
do
feel like
that. Why am
sometimes
I
if you
doing
get a
this? I
really
usually make
bad
multiple systems
ambush,
rather than I
the
can.
cherry can
There we go.
maybe help you on this level
Playing a bit
too.
recklessly, are we?
Maybe Yeah, I still
You
feel
guys
like
want
there's
back there, I think
maybe
it would be
room for
justified.
sort of a maybe it's not a strategy over improvement overall, but maybe there's some risk reward element here. I also wonder if it's better off to plant a pea shooter there rather than the cabbage pulp, just to kind of try to
That's
guarantee
nice.
a slightly faster 50% roll. Maybe not, because you want to save that space for maybe something else if you want to, but. Yeah, it's rare to use the starfruit. I would probably skip the starfruit if I had to skip something on this level.
One code 3
Um,
wave 4 cone is. Wave 5 actually, no, never mind. But, yeah,
I was
pretty
wondering,
good.
Boba, about like I think I would have put a potato mine there to save that that flower pot, but I guess because it's column 3, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe even that
I
25
think if I don't do
sun
this, two
isn't
people die.
just isn't worth it. That was interesting. I
Yeah,
was
but
wondering your thoughts on that one about like,
don't want to go back.
is it worth the
Gamble.
25 sun to save basically a column 3 flower pot that you're not gonna need it for sun. You're probably not gonna
This is
need
probably
it
a
for
bad shot now, but
cabbage pults. So, eh, only for column 5. Yeah, yeah. I can I can buy it. I can buy it. Yeah, I really can. Obviously, on a level like this, the cherry's not going to help at all. Again, I like that. I like how you prioritized first the offensive plans that you knew you were going to need, including that pea shooter right there, and then just sort of saying, all right, at the very end, I'll just no need to rush the jalapeno, right? Like you're going to use it on row 2 no matter what. So just do it, right? Yeah, I really like that. I guess probably you couldn't
I can't believe
afford the
how
gloom
perfect of a money
shroom,
win this was.
and so
Honestly,
you
I had a
bought the
29-22 day exit. Like what?
yeah. How much
Just
money? Do you remember how much money you had here?
I mean, like, I barely got a 106 night exit. It's fine, though. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not obsessed with
Oh,
myself at all.
it is fine, but it is fine.
3-8 was awesome though. Let's focus on that. And it wasn't as good as it can be. Like it wasn't sub 4, but
Ah, okay, yeah,
I don't
okay,
usually do that
yeah.
in a run.
So yeah,
So
it does make sense. Yeah, you don't want to push your luck. Yeah, you really want to
let's do another ride from hell.
yeah, you don't want to push the luck there. It certainly would have been nice. Yeah, and 200 for the rake. Yeah, no, you bring up a good point. Yeah. That's it.
I've started not doing
Yeah,
that because it's
hacks.
like on the sides, but I think
Bienvenidos, my friend. It's really good to see you.
fine, so I'm gonna place pop
An
down there
absolute pleasure.
anyway.
How you been? It has been too long, and that is me. It's not you, it's me. It has been way too long, my friend. I really hope you're doing well. Happy New
That's a
Year.
bit annoying that it took so long.
Happy 2024. Happy everything.
Fire.
I like that starfruit, by the way. I think that was sort of making the most of a tough zombie placement that you just wouldn't quite have been able to get enough from
It should be a good time.
from the other rows. It is the first world record with starfruit strat, which I'll talk about. Let's just say in a future video. we'll talk about in a future video that I have planned. So that's good. I like that starfruit as well. Again, the order of sort of like where you place the starfruits and when I actually think
There's
is
so many
a little
types now.
more difficult than maybe it seems at first glance here. You know, it can be easy to sort of like put the
This just
starfruits in
feels
the wrong
really
place
smooth at the moment.
and whatnot. So yeah, yeah, Bulba's first
Ridiculously
strat.
smooth.
You know, there you go. Starfruit strat is best strat. You know.
I'm really
Yeah,
invested in
I
this
love
strat.
that ninth wave. You could have used a cherry there, although I think saving the cherry for this wave is probably a slightly better strategy. Oh, definitely, yeah. This is Bulbasaur. Oh yeah, I should introduce the strategy first of all. So, we as a community we have hated on the Starfruit for years, for an eternity. There was actually a time once upon a 2017 where we would take Starfruit in 4-7 because of the diggers and because of things like that, and because we just
Really?
didn't really think of any other way to deal with the
Nah,
diggers.
completely
But
not needed.
this is the first time we've used Starfruit competitively in any other level, really. Than and I guess we do use it in Zombie Nimble,
Game should
Zombie
give it the
Quick.
confidence first.
But
This guy
you know, the
can't
idea
do
with the
this second
Starfruit,
thing.
right, is that normally we would take repeaters on this level, and repeaters are freaking expensive. You know, 200 each.
But
You're
maybe.
not getting them set up until like halfway through the second flag
Because I really
anyway,
wanted a
and
laugh
you have
activated with
vultures
this
on
guy.
this level.
Honestly,
So wouldn't it be nice if
but
there was a
actually, this
plant
probably
that
this guy,
got
isn't it?
almost as much damage
Honestly, this guy
output
might wake up, actually. This guy has
as a
super much waking
repeater
up versus
that
water.
was 75 sun less and could deal
Yeah,
with
he
the
does.
Vultures in a way that the repeater
And
actually
may
just
eat some more
can't.
from this 19th wave.
I know. How about Starfruit? How about that, you know, underappreciated, undervalued, you know, we've all felt, you know, undervalued at some
I
point
think
in
that's
our
plus
life.
5
And
exhausted.
we've sort of been waiting there for the last
That was
laugh of
nice.
when we could say, you know, in your frickin' face to all the people that hated us over the years. And I'd like to say that this world record run is what was it Bulba that Scion kind of
I think
perfected it?
that's 5
Actually, I
exhausted.
don't remember myself, but either way, Starfruit has gotten hated for a long time, and right now in this world record run,
I should have said that guy
we
sooner
can
then.
see its beauty.
That all day would have been better.
Yeah, no. Again, like you know, there's no way to say it other than like it feels obvious now. Like,
My gold is
you
still
know,
3 cones
wow, we
here,
spent
so, you know,
200
still
frickin'
golden.
sun on a repeater that only helps one row, doesn't really solve the vaulters. Like what else could we use? Like, but we just we dismissed the starfruit so badly, that it just we're like, oh yeah, repeater and torchwood and chomper, like that's gotta be it. His idea was split P first, yeah, then use the starfruit. Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Yep. Yeah, they're like knights in chess, right? Like if you're a casual player, you're like, oh, the knight, this piece sucks, right? But then you realize that it can cover 8 squares at the same time. And what other piece can do that, right?
I
Sure,
feel
a
like that fight should have
queen,
been better.
like
I'm probably
technically a
not gonna
king,
go
right?
for
But like
some point.
most of the times your bishops can't
Oh, I
even
should
really
put
cover
that
eight
there for
squares.
my
They're
gold
blocked
balls.
by something or whatnot. Or your rooks, you're like, oh, everyone loves the rook, but like how many
This isn't
times
cool.
do your rooks actually cover 8 squares? You know what I mean?
That
Like
guy gets
this
destroyed.
really is, freaking 4D chess. The Starfruit strat is 4D chess. That's it. We're literally saying, oh, we've been ignoring this knight piece for a long ass time. Oh, by the way, those of you looking for puppy cam, I don't know how well this is going to show. Let me pull up my OBS for a second here. You want to say hi, puppy? Hi, puppy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. You saying hi to all the friends on stream? Oh my
I thought this was a free cone preview.
goodness.
What is going on here? I mean, I'm
By
not
the way, I
complaining,
say puppy, and
but
he
I
is a
probably will
puppy.
be
He's only
complaining
11
at some
months
point.
old,
Also, it's not even
but
actually that fast, so
already
I can do it,
75 pounds, but
I'm
still
getting
sort of
pretty
has
advanced.
the,
But you know what? I'm back to
let's just
complaining.
say the mental playfulness of pure puppy. So, yeah, this is our dog. This is part of the reason I haven't been able to stream in the mornings. I usually take him for a
I'm
walk
complaining
and
my nature.
all that stuff, and trying to do that whole thing. But yeah, this is the puppy cam. Get your
He's gonna be
screenshots
at
now.
wave
He's a
11.
good boy. He's a very good
Don't believe me,
dog.
just watch.
Never gets into
That was
trouble
not an
at
intentional
all,
song
ever.
reference. I
That thing on
thought
his
that was
nose,
wrong.
by the way, is a toy because he thinks that
Don't
it's
remember which
playtime right now.
It
But
is. We'll get nothing.
yeah,
We'll get
yeah,
a ladder, a vault.
that's what we got. So anyway,
Clean up this code. Usage it too.
yeah, it's a good boy. Actually, the story behind the dog, as we sort of kind of look through more Starfruit strats here, is We hadn't, with grad school and like moving and my dad's situation, all that, we hadn't necessarily set out to get a dog like
Yeah,
right away. But
there's like
we
no
finished
life
grad
ever, honestly,
school
in the end, 'cause, we
in
don't.
May, and new house, like all that kind of stuff.
Oh my god.
And so we sort of got bit by the puppy bug,
Don't have to use an
sort of like, right around, April, May, start looking, and we were really sort of looking to adopt, we didn't want to like go and like buy a dog or anything like
I don't
that.
remember when I was,
But turns out that, and so we were sort of letting our friends know, hey, if any dog that you have like, needs a home, let us know. We actually almost got this dog that did need a home. The owner had actually tragically passed away. But that didn't end up working out. It ended up going to kind of like a closer, friend to the family and things like that. But we sort of got the word out there, and then we had some friends of a friend who had gotten him as a puppy, but just sort of realized very quickly that they just couldn't take care of him. They have 4 young kids, they work 7 days a week, all that sort of stuff, and just didn't have like the time in their lives, to be able to properly devote to a puppy. So it's not like he had behavioral issues or anything like that. He was a good dog, but they just knew that they needed to find like a new home for him. So so we reached out to them. We're like, hey, we're looking to get a dog. We have the time in our lives for it. We love dogs. So we met them, and we've actually become friends with these people that we hadn't known sort of before, like kind of being connected over the dog and things like that. And, so they still get to sort of see him from time to time. But, we got ourselves, it wasn't like an adoption from like a shelter, but just, adoption from this, friend of a friend that, had a dog that needed a home. So it was nice, so he's really brought a lot of joy to our lives. It's kind of one of those things, you always think from the outside, you maybe think about a dog, the responsibility and the walking and the feeding and the cost and all that sort of stuff. But, they do bring you so much joy that, it really is sort of a special sort of thing. It's hard to imagine our lives now, without him.
Yeah, it did fall back there.
It's a good boy. Very good boy. But yeah, at 75 pounds at just 11 months, we got, say, all the dog that we could have bargained for, and then a little bit more, because he is a lot of dog. But a good boy, as we would expect. Yep. Anyway, so I can't remember my last tutorial or whatnot. By the way, I liked the patience that Bulba showed there with the coffee bean. Would have had to put a pumpkin on there earlier if he didn't think he was going to get the 75 stun that he needed to sort of top up the pumpkin. So again, good example of just being patient. You really don't want to lose your gloom. That's sort of the only thing that could like really kill a level like this. He has 32 seconds of possible time save. That's very good. I like the squash right here too. Like, you're always like, I'd love to use it a little bit more on the 9th wave if I could, but again, I think that would have been a disaster without the squash. And now, that zombie is gonna.
This is really annoying, actually.
One of the zombies ends up escaping, but ends up being okay. So. Yeah, we don't usually get to see too many mower strats. It's very hard to get the mowers, especially by 5-4. But today is the day. We've been blessed by all the diamonds and then some. And that's good. Again, yeah, wanted to be very careful. I was nervous about this pogo zombie, and then I was like, oh, okay, he's got the lawnmowers, right? But I saw that, and I was like, oh crap! Like Bulba's barely gonna have the squash back, and if he doesn't get the squash down, that zombie too, in that particular wave. This was a slightly more a close call for the level than I think I was than I think normally we would expect, even for 5-4, which itself can actually be one of the levels where you're sort of most at risk for taking a death or something like that. So it was a scary one, but you get through it. No, like this technically could have done the column 2.
It's a decent one.
Yeah, but column 2 gloom, but again, not a huge thing. Gonna get that nice 4th gloom shroom out at the beginning of the third flag, which is great.
I haven't like no glooms that down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my very first run, I took 1 death, and it was on 5-4. Yeah, no, totally. Like I just totally unprepared for how dangerous the the pogo zombies were going to be. You know, even with some of these strats. Yep. Yeah, no, not immune from it either. Yeah, no, we've had very experienced runners take otherwise very difficult to stomach deaths. You know, on this level. You can argue maybe could have sort of saved the coffee bean for something like this. Yeah, again, I was a little worried about that situation. Didn't know if you were going to go fume or a gloom. You could have done as sort of a backup strategy there as well. But this level got a little bit, just a little interesting. Yeah, building up the column 5 wall is again, I think very, very good. And then obviously column 6 to be able to deal damage to the I think you were a little early on the it's very aggressive. I think the doom timing, again, not a major difference, but just something to kind of be aware of, too. Yeah, still sub 6, which is excellent. Got to save almost 20 seconds or 15 seconds on the 30 seconds time save or whatever.
Okay, that's not a great start, both in terms of me pausing and also.
And time for what is without a doubt the highest skill cap level in the entire run.
It's gonna give me a
5-5. Again, send me your hate. Send me your hate mail. Leave your nasty comments, below in the comments in YouTube.
Maybe a bit
but
or something.
5-5 is incredibly high skill and high luck. It's not to say that there's no luck. There is luck, but I'd say it's certainly up there in the upper quadrant of highest luck and highest skill levels in the game. Even questions like how do you use your pumpkins most effectively? I actually think is very do you use it to manipulate? Do you use it to? I actually didn't hate the. I don't love digging up chompers this early, but I didn't hate. I didn't hate the cherry there. I don't absolutely know if it was the right play, but I don't hate the move there. So. Oh yeah, Bulba, is this the first time you've watched the run since doing it on Tuesday, or did you take a second to kind of rewatch and have your own thoughts? I love the double kill on that bottom row. That was actually my favorite part of this level. Was that sweet frickin' double kill from watch Day and 510. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, obviously those were absolute highlights. Oh yeah, 4-2. Yeah. Again, yeah, definitely. It's hard not to watch the parts rewatch the parts that go really, really well. I love doing that too. I did that for some of my ILs. Some of the waves that went really well for my survivals runs earlier too. I love rewatching those waves.
Using the ladder and then also that doesn't actually guarantee it. Yeah, I should have known that.
Oh, 3-8. Yeah, definitely should rewatch 3-8. That's a beauty. Again, a new strat. A new.
Doesn't guarantee it. Oh, but it did actually work.
Yeah, I think slight mistake there. You did actually have the 50% rule. You could have actually seen. I think I think it would have been worth waiting there. I did like that cherry. I wish you could have gotten the cone head out of it, but can't always get what we want in life, can we? That's just the reality. Yeah, things starting to get a little dicey. I forget. I did have. I had some. I meant to write down some notes on sort of how I think could have handled the sort of the last couple of waves here a little bit better. I can't remember. Oh yeah, I think what I would have done, because there was only one zombie there. I think you actually should have gone pumpkin and flower pot for and saved the mower for the final wave. You only got one. You only got one zombie's worth of value on the 19th wave, and I think that was good. I do like that you dug up everything there, just sort of cutting your losses, but now you're sort of in this awkward position of like, oof, like, do I wait for a cherry for the top rows? Yeah, that's probably it. I wasn't sure sort of about the pumpkin. I guess kind of trying to manip a little bit. But I would have saved that again. Yeah, for the top row. I can sort of understand like the mentality of being there in the moment, and you still have the you still had
this ages ago. I forgot that this was like something like I forgot that was an option.
Yeah. So again,
There was a flag
kind
zombie.
of a misplay, but again, I can also understand like
I'm searching
you're
the I
on
forgot that was an option. Okay, a minute.
incredible
I have
place.
a minute.
5-5 is stressful AF.
Well, and I can also
You
go with
know,
them.
you have one row that
Like a
doesn't
minute,
have the
a minute.
lawnmowers, but I actually think the whole thing could have been solved
That was
by
like stupid.
saving the lawnmower for the final wave because you only had one zombie that you needed to deal with in the top row. In wave 19, I think that would have been worth it, right? Yeah, you go into manip mode, and you're like, I got a manip cherry, I got a manip cherry, not realizing that, like, again, you have these other resources at your hand, including 4 choppers and 4 flower pots and the mowers, the roof cleaners, So yeah, again, I can
But now
understand sort of
it's
getting
simple
caught
being
up,
stupid.
in the moment the way that you did. It's obviously easy to sit here, back and oh well, yeah, if you just you just do this, but yeah, so yeah, you had a very good chance, but 5-5 B 5-5 as they say, so so
That is
that's it,
awesome.
but. Yeah. Again, the 5-6, column 9 Gloom strat, it will always stress me out. It will never not stress me out. I do get people's point that it's better, especially again if you have a nice, well-timed Doom. But I've gotten killed by this, and yeah, it's a skill issue, but also like I've gotten some pretty crap RNG, on this level over the years, so I don't entirely blame myself. It's a nasty one. Yeah, 5-7 soon. We'll yeah. I have some comments about 5-7 too as well. Also just awful level, and again the RNG I think really kind of comes down. This was scary when you placed that flower pot. I wasn't sure you were going to get enough sunbulb. I think maybe you knew you were, but I didn't like that flower pot. I would have had it, and I think maybe even been ready to use the squash to protect the gloom. Not sure if I was going to get enough sun or not, so I get very stressed out in that moment that gloom was freaking toast. But you did it. Again, I like your timing with the Doom Shroom here. I think that was right on point. You could have even
I think
dug
that would
up.
have worked if I did with the pumpkin. No, but yeah, that.
Yeah, I'm almost certain. Yeah, that would have worked. And even if you'd lost a pumpkin, or even if you'd lost a gloom, I don't think you would have been in terrible shape. I was actually worried. Yeah, I was worried about you losing the gloom there too. So again, this was another level that was like we're less than a second from like absolute freaking disaster. On this level. Yeah, like it was really close.
That's bad.
Again, especially with this what was this wave 17, 18.
Oh, boy.
Luckily again you're close enough to to the end of the level that I think you can get a 50% rule here and not be in terrible shape heading into the end of it. Yeah, but this is I understand the 5-6 strategy. I think you were right to go for the 5-6 gloom strats, but like man, this is
I'm gonna do this.
man, it stresses me out. It really does. Yeah, high octane. I think that's a good way to put it. And I don't know, maybe I'm old, maybe I just don't have that level of octane that I used to. But damn, it just oh god, it scares the crap out of me. Yeah, nice good final wave to clean everything up. So, and again, a 434 at the end of the day, it's not a bad time. It's not a bad time. So we can say even with all those things that went wrong, again whether you would call it RNG or potential misplays, like it still ends up with a good time. So again, I have to just sit down and stomach the fact that like got to use the 5-6 glooms. At 5-8, that's another one I sort of feel uncomfortable with. But again, again, people just joining us, for the first time, these are newer strategies that we have in the run. And again, I think
I don't know if I'll even
really
be happy. I'll definitely be happy with the record. What am I saying? But like, you know what I mean. Like this run, really. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but again, it's not like that much difference from sort of what the old strats, would have been. Again, it just kind of means, you'll be, may not get quite that great mower value that can, sort of really help in the first flag too. I think it's not devastating. I don't even know, I know the roof cleaners can save some time, but I don't even know if they save that much time at the end of the day. Certainly, maybe 5-9. Maybe they help the most in 5-9. I guess I would say of all the roof levels, maybe 5-9 is sort of the best for it. Save a lot of time, yeah.
I don't really like this guy's fast. I prefer him to be. Well, I mean, you don't want him to be too too slow either.
Yeah. I guess I see your point, right? Like, you can basically, it sort of gives you, like, an extra squash to play with,
You know, actually,
and can make one, like, slow wave kind of turn into, like, a very, very fast wave. Yeah, in the manip, in the manip can be very, very helpful. Yeah, no, I think you bring up a good point. Yeah, this worried me a little bit, too. Yeah, I think, yeah, you could, first of all, I think you could have dug up the flower pots a little bit more quickly there, but yeah, that definitely kind of, that added a little bit stress as well. But I think you played this well. I just think it, you know, yeah, it got to definitely sort of be Scary Town time. Yeah, they definitely can save on 5-5. Yeah, no, I think I meant mower strats. They definitely help on 5-5. Like, no doubt, 3,000%. You know, I think I just feel like on some of these levels, especially if you're sacrificing a couple of sunflowers and all that stuff, and like, you know, it doesn't help, like, you know,
wake this guy up.
Like, it does help. Don't get me wrong. I don't want us to overrate, you know, how helpful it is, and that, like, it's still possible to get very, very good times. You know, I think without mowers on, you know, 5-6, 5-7, 5-8. You know, in particular. So, all right, take care of Christmas. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good night. Yeah, really, really appreciate you. Yeah, have a good night. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Really, you know, really glad to have you.
I just have to take that for a second in case I got the.
Yeah, gold is without roof cleaners. Yeah, I think that's fair. You know, again, it's not, you know, so it's somewhat anecdotal, right? You know, yeah, not necessary. Maybe neither necessary, you know, nor sufficient, but you know, can help. You know, help on average, right? I think that's probably that's probably it. But yeah, I just, you know, I don't want us overrating being like, oh, I can't get world record without, you know, roof cleaners. Like, nah, you can. You know, does it help? Yeah, absolutely. You know, especially, you know, if you get them by 5-5. You know, again, I think that's
nice
particularly
in some
helpful.
Ways, bad in others.
But
okay, this is just.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the ladders. I feel like sometimes they can, you know, they can help they help save your pumpkins, right? They can basically assure that you can sort of, you know, replant or get a fourth pumpkin or replant a pumpkin if you need it. So yeah, no, it does make it a little easier, just a little more comfortable, I would say. You know, you don't have to worry as much about that. Yep. And 5-6.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
Bulba, I didn't see it at all either. I did not.
That's
I'm like,
really
what
funny.
the is he doing?
That's the funniest mistake I've ever made.
Yeah, I did not see it. I did not see it at all. Did not see it coming even. First of all, that was so ballsy, that gloom there. I wouldn't have had the stomach. I wouldn't have had the stomach to do that. But
who would
yeah, I did not. I never in a million years would have seen that coming. It was the funniest part of the run. One of the funniest parts maybe of any world record ever. Like, I could not believe that. I crapped my pants. I'm like, what the hell is it? Oh no! And then yeah, you saw it at like the exact same instant that I did. So that's funny. Oh, and the double squash. That was just a thing of beauty. Man, I absolutely love that. That felt like a very weak wave 29. Like, very weak. You know, like there was just like it felt like it was like one conehead, two regulars, and the bungee. You know, very weak, pathetic. Yeah, I hate it when that damn thing bounces up and. You know, you can't grab it right away. Yep.
Actually, like
oh yeah, pro catapult zombie. Yep, that was the best. Oh, for me, I would have been completely wiped out of all my glooms. I'm still yet to get a good 5-7 where I don't get like absolutely obliterated by the catapult.
But if this is world record, hello everyone.
Oh, hello, Bulba. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Leave
questions in the comments below, and I might make a Q&A video or something. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I'll make the Q&A video for you, Bulba. See, we got the Q&A right here. This is perfect. So there you go. So that's yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, but again, you know, this is really great. I just love seeing, you know, all these strategies come together, small optimizations, and you know, just really being able to sort of take, you know, I really feel like this is a new chapter. You know, not just because it's a new record, but in sort of like the implementation and execution of all these strategies that we've worked really hard to develop, you know, over the last couple of years. You know, this is really something. So. That's right, YMB's, yeah, jumping at the vaults or jumping over the mower. That was, I mean, absolute. You know, absolute thing. And not global trolled. We have to reserve that for really when you actually get trolled. But it, like, I just love seeing those funny. It definitely belong in Ruskell's oddities. Ruskell, I don't know if you're hanging out here, but some of this stuff is just pure gold for your PvZ oddities videos. If you ever get back to making any of those, that'd be great. So.
I think this is pretty safe to do now.
Yeah, I think that was a good preemptive squash. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to, handle that any differently, so I think that's good. Yeah, I also like, your column 5 sunflowers. I think that's a good way to sort of rebuild. You get some extra safety for the final wave. I probably, if I were you, I would maybe start with column 1 and column 5, just given that those tend to be sort of the highest risk for something bad happening on the final wave. But again, a very, very small, nitpick. Yeah, Super Mario 64, they're still getting new strats. Why not us? This game only came out,
okay, apparently MatPat is retiring, what?
14 years ago, 15 years ago,
okay.
not that. So that's good. Yeah, I like it. It's a good one. Yeah, again, very small optimization, but definitely worth calling out that it's
definitely be open. Let me get put down.
It's good.
Next game I'm gonna place.
I like how this is called Pumpkins Are Consistent.
Now the guard does not come rotating.
Pumpkins are scary, man. Like, you lose the gloom, but like you are just getting the gloom off cooldown in fairness. So like I see it, I get it, but like it just does feel like there's sort of a lot that can go wrong there. I really like the being proactive with the column 9 flower pot there to make sure that you got that gloom down as quickly as possible. I really like that. That was good.
Whoa, that's not very good.
Yeah, again, I do worry a little bit about like pumpkin usage on this, right? Can you guarantee that all your pumpkins stay safe? Especially if you get a Garg in the wrong row, which obviously luckily you didn't, this time around. But would it be crazy to do your glooms on column 1 and column 4 on this level if you wanted to be like just a little bit safer? You'd lose like a little bit of time and damage output, but then you lower the probability of getting hit by the guard from 2 out of 4 to 1 out of 4. And like that feels like much more like a risk worth taking, I think.
Lovely.
Be just a little safer. Obviously it is a little slower, but
I'm doing
maybe a little safer. Because you're not going to get the Garg in column 1. So, I don't know.
I don't care about roof cleaners. I don't care if it's a 2-cone, I'm doing staff roof. It's a good pace.
So you deal with the Garg. Oh, is this with the roof cleaner? Huh. Yeah.
And I got 608 for staff roof in my PB.
I like that. I like that.
Although that was 1 cone. But Marking got like a 550.
Oh yeah, 3 cone preview and bad RNG. That's fair. Yeah, you're right that the pumpkins could get kind of really obliterated. Yeah.
I think using
that's fair.
Is great with
no, definitely risks to consider with that. So very interesting.
Pots is much more of a detriment. Reverse.
Would love to reconnect this one. Okay, we're back. All right. Yeah, tried to pause it the moment that I saw things die. Don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was just
I'm really glad
a quick ISP issue. Apologies for that. Yeah, I may have lost some of the raid codes, but that's okay.
It's not bad.
2 minutes into 5-9.
I do not want to have a Bulba 5 Jack after.
Okay. Yeah, we'll stick with it. We'll stick with it about here. I guess I did want to talk about the strategies in 5-9 since we're kind of getting into it. In that, again, this is another level where, again, I really think that you can sort of dynamically potentially change the run. Really, the idea here is that because we have bucket heads in the level, that the value of having, even more value than you get from like the magnets, which we really thought were sort of the solution to it before, that the value that you get from having, Cherry and Squash and Chomper and Doom, right, that collectively might be even more valuable than the value that we get from the gloom. So this is so this is really this is interesting. This is I like the idea. I don't, again, I think it's one of those that may not definitively be faster, but it's sort of nice to have this as sort of like a possibility if we get a preview that feels like very heavy with, bucket heads or maybe even cone heads, to be honest, that we're just not sure that we'll, that we'd be able to deal with. This is really good. I had some post-traumatic stress about that, basketball launcher, thinking he was going to be driving to the edge of the lot again. So that's good. So Very good. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sorry about the drop there. I should have been recording locally. I wasn't. If we're watching this on YouTube, we might have to do just a very quick pace
I could
to
have been more
get
aggressive
this
with
back
cherry, but in case
together.
the
But
bonus bar, I
that's
won't be prepared.
yeah, that's what we got there. So anyway, apologies for the
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
drop.
yeah.
Hopefully the quality wasn't too bad. Kind of immediately leading into that beforehand. But yeah, again, very very nice strategy improvement here on 5-9.
Okay.
Did get the guard, did get all the dangerous zombies, and there you go again. A very, very nice.
Need full thing one. Do I go for a
Again,
free
the
cycle?
615 is a
Or
great
just
time for 5-9. So again, I think that sort of shows the star fruit's potential. For its for
guess we'll
strategy
see.
improvements and stuff. So there we go. So yep. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
5-10
I'm
will be
back
very
here.
interesting. I first of all, I can only imagine, the nerves,
Exact same position.
the pressure, all that sort of stuff. Knowing that you have a minute and 4 seconds of possible time
Melon.
save, it's not easy. Even getting a sub 5 minute time, it's not an absolute guarantee.
Not same
It's
as my
easier
GP, I
said than
have a
done,
melon.
especially given the pressure and given
Okay, I think
all
I'm gonna try
that.
and go for
So
this.
yeah. You got Lone Banana in the
Gonna go
chat,
crazy.
the king of Zomboss himself. So that's
Go
very nice.
for this.
But
I can
luckily, again, I do like
grenade.
3 or 4 melon pults can really sort of
You know what?
give you a bit of a breeze here. The
Okay.
idea with Zomboss is that you can sort of either play to try to try to kill him in three,
Do it.
what we call 3 cycle or 3 phases of him coming down, or 4. And the idea is you have to be very,
Okay,
very
I might
close
regret
and
this.
very precise
I'm gonna regret
that
this. Why did I do this? Why did I do this?
of how much health you try to reduce in the first flag. If you can
Yeah,
keep it to under
this is such a
20%,
stupid decision.
you won't get bungee
Let's
zombies.
just go for
But if you go over 20%, like
why did I
Bulba
do
did
that?
here, you will get the bungees. Luckily,
Why did I
didn't
do
get
that? Why did I
absolutely
do that?
hammered by it. But
Such an idiot. Okay,
and sometimes like it's hard in the moment to sort of say, all right, do I try to do like a ton of damage in phase 1, just accept the fact that I'm going to get the bungees, but try to guarantee
definitely getting
like getting a 2 cycle? Or do I play for the 3 cycle? And again, Zomboss was very fast in coming down on this cycle as well. So there's sort of another question of all right, do I try to go for like a fast 3 cycle, or do I try to get a lot of damage here, or just sort of play it off? So I think it was interesting Zomboss RNG, like not bad RNG, but like the kind that like you don't sort of see Zomboss with this exact pattern, I think, as often as you could. So so it's tough. Yeah, almost just cringing while playing it. That's what you get. But we can see here also manipulating the conveyor to try to get fewer flower pots, again, to sort of help increase the probability that we get ice shrooms, jalapenos, and stuff that really does the damage to Zomboss. Luckily, didn't get absolutely ravaged by the bus. That's the other thing. If you can keep Zomboss to under 50% of his hit points, you won't get the bus. But if it's in that over 50% area, you generally will. So again, sort of very hard to play this perfectly. This definitely probably was not quite as optimal as it could have been. But again, only one of us knows what it's like to sort of have the pressure of the world record and stuff on our backs. So that's that makes it pretty tough. And again, Bulba's sort of very really has to play this very very tight right here, right? Kind of keeping it very close.
Do your thing.
I
have it! I got world record!
So,
oh my god! Wait. Holy cow! Throwback to my first world record with all puzzles. Oh my god, I did it! Oh my god, I did it! This was the dumbest win ever. I had the C-top by 2-7. Oh my god, I did it. Okay. I thought I proved that like several times. I thought like, oh my, the best possible time during like when I was like during pool was like 3:13. I was like, this is done. I'm done for. Global gold on 4-2 by the way. 3 all instant strat. I tied my global gold. Day exit was insane, 29-22, and then night was awful. But I had the 8 slot by 2-7. I had 5 diamonds this one. Oh my god, I got world record! I can finally rest. So yeah, Q&A maybe. Yeah, drop comments, press me in the comments below. I might answer them. Who knows? Yeah, let's do it.
Oops. I hit replay. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, but that's it. So anyway, huge congratulations to Bulba. This was an absolute joy to to watch, to to see kind of come in development. Again, I think I am years and years sort of for being a very competitive any percent player these days too, but it doesn't mean that I don't feel sort of extreme pride for watching players succeed, especially those that work hard, help develop the strategy, actively involved in the community, in our Discord, shown such great support of other runners and their accomplishments and things like that. Again, I really can't think of sort of a more well-deserving person. Not that other runners too, of course, but Bulba definitely deserved this. Definitely worked super hard, and again, it's just an absolute joy to see it, come together. Yeah, this was played at 1.5 speed, so yeah, again, yeah, it's a little more sort of tapered back. Definitely check out Bulba's run itself. I'll leave a comment, in the description. Again, exclamation point WR for the chat here. Please check it out. Give it the views. Give it the likes. See if we can kind of boost Bulba's video to the top, the front of the pages and things like that. It absolutely deserves it. It's a huge accomplishment for a super competitive game, and again, a speed game with a nearly limitless skill cap, not just execution wise, but just a limitless skill cap that, again, I think sort of shows off, the brilliance, the strategy, just, sort of the dedication that it takes to be a top runner, of this game. So yeah, Bulba having the world record in two of the most popular categories right now is an insane accomplishment. I don't know if we'll ever see anyone do sort of the clean sweep again, but again, even getting one world record in one of the main categories is an absolute, monumental accomplishment. Much less two like Bulba has. The skill is there, the brain is there. And again, I can't wait to see, what happens. Paha, Markin, Blackened, and YMB. Honestly, right on Bulba's tails. I could see any of them, making a real push. To improve the time too. And again, I really can't wait to see sort of what it comes down to. So congrats, Bulba. Very, very happy for you. Very proud. Things like that too. Oh, guest, yeah, banana, yeah, no, guest, absolutely. I'm missing the obvious ones. Really, any of them on, in a matter of weeks, if not months, I could see sort of making a push and making a grind for another world record. And sometimes I've noticed all it takes is one person to, to prove that, YMB, despite his brilliance and truly sort of being the sage and the wizard and the goat of this game, can be tackled. That's all it takes sometimes for a flood of world records and great accomplishments in this game. So I'm really excited to sort of see what that future will bring. I kind of wanted to pull up. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'll make sure it's on there too. Yeah, this is great. Hopefully it's not too blocked out or anything. No, I actually think this looks pretty good. Sort of pulling out the. I want to do just sort of a quick rundown of sort of what the history of this looks like. Here's our leaderboard right now. Ugh, oh boy, you want to talk about cringing? I mean, this is boy. Ugh, what is this guy even doing? But anyway, this is what things look like now for any percent leaderboard. I'll scroll all the way down. Again, we have some great runners. A lot of you never knew Rabbit Dog, but a top runner for a long time. JXY, who I think really could have made a splash, but their most recent PB being 5 years ago. So again, some great runners, even if not at the top of the leaderboard. That's what we got. Yeah, MSBM, sort of the original decompiler of our code, discovered the 50% rule. Again, some great runners there. Even A1J, super number two for a long time. Peter's put a ton of time and effort. Peter, another one that again, I think right on the coattails of being a top runner in the game. Aaron, Scion, if he ever comes back. Yunhu, yeah, again, really any in the I'd say the top 12. Right now, could easily sort of make that splash as well. So that's where we got. But I also wanted to take a moment to kind of go over the history. This is kind of a cool feature that they have now on speedrun.com. So game gets released in 2009. First any percent run, at least documented here in 2013. There is one run in Speed Demo's archive that was like 5 hours and 20 or 5 hours 30 or something like that on Speed Demo's archive that I don't think has a video attached to it. I'd love to at some point maybe do like a progression video of like, going through all the world records, talking about the strategy improvements, and we could have a laugh, not at the runner's expense, but just kind of like, oh man, like why did they do that? Like what were we thinking? But again, getting even getting 5 hours and 10 minutes with no strategy, no help, no background, that's huge. That really is amazing. For that. So I think that's great. Oh, Sasquatch is doing something like that. That's great. I think that'd be a great, not quite like a summoning salt sort of thing, but yeah, it'd be really great to, kind of do our own. I'd love to have like a community historian, help to like kind of track and document not just like what the runs were and like keeping the video of them, but like what the strategies were and what sort of some of the big breakthroughs were as well. If anyone wants to be our community historian, that would be excellent. I never sort of watched some of these earlier runs. Where I sort of came in was A1's runs, right? Sort of mid to late 2017. I watched A1 sort of improve from 356, 353, and that was sort of when I came into the scene. And I said, you know what, like I found some things. I'm like, I think I can beat this. I think I can maybe do this. And again, I love the game. It had a place in my heart as well. So after a couple of grinds and attempts, I had like a whole like and all the plants written out. We didn't know any of the strategies. I just sort of wrote out like sort of these ideas of like what I thought I could do better. I got that improved, by a couple of times, within the next month. A1 then comes, furiously back, beats that, a couple days. Then 5 days after that, A1 and I traded the record probably what is this 12 times over the course of that year. Again, another month, A1 sent, we're really pushing it to its limits. We're learning about the 50% rule around this time. Things start to get really good. We finally crack, I got the first sub 140. So that was kind of a nice milestone. I might have gotten the first sub 150. Did I do that too? Yeah, I think I did. So, a couple of 10-minute, milestones there, continuing to improve. And right around this time was when YMB started pushing his first runs in the 340, 339. And I'm like, oh God, man, I am in huge trouble. So he got his first world record. I actually, believe it or not, beat YMB's world record just for a couple of days. That's sort of the only time I could actually talk about dethroning YMB in one of the major categories. Maybe I did in one other category too. I can't remember. But dethroning YMB, albeit just for a couple of days. And then obviously this was the age of the YMB. Taking the time down single-handedly, more or less, all the way down from 330, 331 when he first got his record. Within the span, if you can see, this was all mostly within the span of 5 days. It was at 325 for a long time, then made another splash about a year later, bringing the time all the way down to 317, where it was for an astonishing 3 years and 3 months until, again, just this week, Bulba came around and bopped it just by, I'd say just by 8 seconds, but again, it's a huge accomplishment. That's not that's a huge thing. And as you can see, waiting for the next world record. So, what better way to end it on, then again with, Bulba's first record, the first non-YMB record in 3 years, over 3 years, and the first world record in 3 years, and the first non-YMB world record in about 5 years. So again, who knows what the community has in store for it in the future? Will we ever get sub 315? Maybe even lower than that. I don't know. Only one way to find out, and that's by liking, that's by subscribing, that's by showing support, joining our Discord, exclamation point Discord, any of that stuff. Thanks so much again. Thank you all those that were there from the very beginning. B Jonas, Bulba, Paha, Easy Pig, a long, long, long time. Really appreciate that. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I really do appreciate it. I'll get this uploaded to YouTube as well. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube. Really appreciate that. Leave a comment, ask a question. Again, I've kind of been around for a long, long time now. Happy to answer any of that. Or, again, please go check out Bulba's video. We'll leave that link in the description as well. Again, until next time, Astrobleed. Yep. Thanks so much. Tuning in. Really appreciate everybody. Again, the future is very bright when it comes to PvZ speedrunning, and again, really sort of love the support. And being able to sort of be part of kind of the milestones like this too. That's really what makes this community so great. It's a good not healthy competition. Everyone's very supportive. We really have great people that sort of make keep us all coming back to the game as long as we have. So until next time, thank you all so much. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.